Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year and save every day with your GrubMart Super Saver Card. It's good to know GrubMart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local GrubMart today.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own, free delivery, and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Our countdown to kickoff, built tough, built fast, backed by our friends at Bama Sheds. As our countdown to kickoff continues, a big one. Munford and Lincoln, one of East Alabama's oldest running rivalries. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Jackson New, as well as Shasta Jones down on the sidelines. And we bring in our own Jim Jacobs as well, because we got to take a look at some big ones from our area and across the state of Alabama for tonight.
Well, good evening, gentlemen.
Great.
Ready to go.
Ready to do some work?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's see what we have here. We'll start off with this one. Not a bad way to kick it off, Coach. No. Going to talk to the ghost.
They got to talk to the ghost. Alexandra's going to Jacksonville tonight, and I just think Alexandra go in there and pull out a win for some reason. I think they're going to go in there and have a pretty good game and take that victory.
Jacksonville had a really surprisingly impressive performance to open the season against Etowah last week, and I like that carryover to continue. Jacksonville at home tonight.
Yeah, I gotta go Golden Eagles in this one. They looked awfully good against Etowah, and I think we've just got to do a better job of, getting in there and figuring this whole thing out. Let's swing it down to the sidelines, and we'll start with Shasta Jones.
It could go either way, but after Jacksonville's win last week, I'm going to go with the Golden Eagles.
And swing it over to Jackson New, the newest member of our crew. What do you think, Jackson, on this one?
And once again, I got to agree with Shasta here. Coach Sullivan really has those boys playing some football this year. Quarterback Kamari Hart last week, and I just think they're going to get the job done.
All right, let's roll to the next one. Here we go. We know the outcome of this one. Eddie, were you surprised by the way Ben Russell handled Central Clay last night?
No, I was. Because, you're talking about Coach Horn, and he's just like a couple of other coaches I know. It's just hard to bet against.
All right, well, nothing to pick there, but we got a good one to pick right here as the Panthers roll up into Coosa Christian tonight. Coach Probst gets his old school. How do you see this one, James?
This could be a showcase type of game for Coosa Christian, especially with the adversity they've run into the last year and a half or so. But I think Pell City might be able to just overwhelm them a little bit in the fourth quarter. I like Pell City.
I think Pell City going to have experience, but I don't count Coosa Christian out, so I'm going against the grain. I'm going to take Coosa Christian at home.
Talent with the Conquerors, maybe numbers with Pell City. They looked pretty good in that win over Pelham last week. Shasta, will swing down to you. What do you think, Lions or Conquerors?
I'm going to have to go with the Panthers, actually. I think it's going to be close, but because of the lack of depth, Pell City's going to pull it away in the fourth quarter.
Jackson gets the last word.
And I got to agree. I got to go with Coosa Christian here. I just think Jalen Terry is going to be too much for Pell City.
Okay, let's go. Tonight in the big ones, this one is pupil and teacher. It's Steve Smith's Westbrook Christian Warriors and Glencoe's Yellow Jackets under Bailey Blanchard. Coach, I'm sure you probably had some folks that worked under you for a while. You got a chance to play. What do you think about this one?
Sort of the toughest games to actually get up, and, as the teacher, you don't want to let your student beat you, So I'm going to go with Coach Smith at home with Glencoe. I think got too much experience and too much savvy to let them come in there and beat him.
Glencoe able to have a 0 win against Southeastern last week, but I like the teacher and Coach Steve Smith and Westbrook Christian be able to take it to the finish line with the W tonight.
And we'll swing down to the sidelines, and we'll start with Jackson this time. We'll make him go first so he can't lean on Shasta.
And I got to Westbrook Christian. I mean, Coach Smith, and we've seen quarterback Brody Blevins kind of develop in front of our own eyes, and I think Westbrook Christian gets it done.
I got to go Westbrook Christian all the way.
Well, she made that quick. I'm going Westbrook as well, so there's a clean sweep for you on this one. Valley at Spring Garden, another interesting game tonight for Week 1 play. And what do you think, guys?
I'm going to just say go, Garden, go.
I think Pleasant Valley, even on the road, might have a chance tonight, but Spring Garden just a little too much late in the second half.
All right, Jackson, what's your little tell you on this one?
And I'm going to go, I got to go with Pleasant Valley. I mean, they've been young the past couple of years, but they're developed a little more, and quarterback Braxton Salster looks really good, and so I'm going to go with Pleasant Valley.
Yeah, I like Pleasant Valley to slip in there and capture the W as well. Shasta, you'll wrap us.
Both teams opened up last week with wins, but Pleasant Valley starters and experience coming back from last year. Got to go with the Pleasant Valley Raiders.
All right, next up on our big ones, here's an interesting one. Cherokee County needs to kind of right the ship after the thumping at Piedmont last week. Arab coming in good. What do you think tonight, Coach, up at Warrior Stadium?
Well, I think it's going to be an extremely tough game. Arab is an extremely good program, but I think Cherokee County rights the ship tonight. I think they go in at home, and I think they win a close game at home.
I agree with you, Coach. It's not often that Cherokee County under Jacob Kelly in a row, and like Cherokee County pull a close one out tonight.
Okay, Shasta, what do you think?
I got to agree with Coach Bullock. Home field advantage, got to be the Cherokee County Warriors.
Jackson?
And I got Cherokee County. I mean, tough loss, but I think they bounce back this week.
And I will wrap this up by saying I like the Warriors to pick this up at home. All right, next up, Oxford down at the 411 boys. What do you think, James? This big one.
Oh, that's a tough game. That's literally flip in my eyes. It was down to the wire last year over at Lamar Field. I think a similar type of game could occur tonight. A big game for both teams, but I like Oxford to just squeak it out on the road.
Well, and I'm sort of the same mindset. Moody's extremely good, but after watching Oxford last week, they showed great poise. So, I'm leaning with Calhoun County. I think Oxford goes down there and steal one.
I think Oxford's got the talent to go in there and pick one up, Coach. But Moody needs this one more than Oxford does, but it's a pride thing for the Jackets. I'm going with that talent from Oxford to pick up the win tonight down at the Bill. Let's go over to the folks down on the field, and we'll start with Jackson.
And I got to go with Oxford here. Despite the loss last week, Maddox Mims and Caleb Wynn and Jalen Taylor looked absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to go with the Yellow Jackets to get the win.
And Shasta, you get the last word.
I got to agree with Wynn, what we saw last week. I'm just going to go with the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Could be a surprise upset, though, but I'm going to go with the Yellow Jackets.
All right, we're going to pause for our national anthem and see if we can get a look at the flag here for you. I think there it is right there as we honor America's heroes with our national anthem. All right, and that gets us back here to where we can finish up with the big ones. I'll put this one back up on the screen for you. All right, guys. Can Sachs pull off the miracle of miracles? One-word answer, Eddie.
No.
Fair enough. I like Piedmont as well. Are we just going to go clean sweep with Piedmont this week with everybody?
Yes, sir.
Is everybody good with the Piedmont Bulldogs as their pick tonight? I think so. All right, let's move on here. And this is an interesting matchup tonight for Ohatchee as the Tribe heads over to Locust Fork, and they'll face the Hornets tonight. Let's start down on the field. We'll give Jackson the first word on this one.
And I got to go with Ohatchee here. Coach Blake Jennings, his first year back there, and I just got to go with them to get the win.
Shasta?
I'm going to have to go with Locust Fork Hornets. I think it's going to be a close game, but home field advantage.
All right, home field for Locust Fork and the Hornets. Eddie?
Well, I'm going with Locust Fork as well. You know, researching Ohatchee, I just don't think this year Ohatchee's the traditional Ohatchee that we see, so I'm going with Locust Fork.
Locust Fork, however, a tough loss last week in their season opener, as well as Ohatchee, a tough loss in their season opener. I like Ohatchee, though, to go on the road and get their first win of the season. As we'll continue as far as our countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Bama Sheds, as we'll...
All right, this is what we came here for this week, guys. Of course, we don't pick the games we do, but we can sure talk about it. The 81st meeting, Coach, one of the biggest high school rivalries in the state of Alabama, the Lions and the Golden Bears.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's going to be a good game because it's a rivalry game. But, James gave me a little insight on Montfort earlier, and I think it just may be a little tough for him tonight. But it's going to be an interesting game.
Definitely an opportunity for Lincoln to break a long losing streak, as keep in mind they lost all of their games last year and the back 4 games of 2023. And the last win that Lincoln picked up, October 2023, against rival Munford.
Trying to break a 15-game losing streak is Coach Brett Henderson and the Golden Bears. All right, Jackson, you wore the red and white. You played in this game. What's it mean?
And this rivalry is huge, man, and I'm really excited for this matchup this year for sure.
And Shasta, you get the final word to send it back to the booth.
The only thing I got to say is these players out here running, getting warmed up for this game, it's been daggum hot out here. I'm ready for winter, guys.
I don't think I'm quite ready yet to get the cooler weather here, although we have gotten a little bit of that taste of fall over about the last week or so. Fall weather just around the corner, and speaking of just around the corner, a few minutes away from meeting toe to leather when it comes to Munford and Lincoln. The first matchup between these two began in 1946. Let's take a little time out, step aside, catch our breath, because we still have the toss of the coin coming up here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Our FNN High School Football Game of the Week from Lincoln High School here in the heart of East Alabama. James Hardy along with Coach Eddie Bullock and Shasta Jones, Jackson New, and the rest of our FNN crew, as we'll take a look at the Golden Bears get ready to come out onto the field, as we're a few minutes away from getting toe to leather, as well as before that our toss of the coin. And as always, our countdown to kickoff brought to you by our friends not too far away from here, about a little more than an extra point down Highway 77 when it comes to Bama Sheds. A good crowd filling in here at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium on the campus of Lincoln High School as we are awaiting that toss of the coin as Brickhouse Barber Shop brings us tonight's coin toss. And the captains still have not quite come out onto the field for both teams. A wonderful evening for football here in Lincoln, Alabama. Our second of two games as part of rivalry week for us. An impressive showing last night for Hoax Bluff as they open up their season in impressive fashion with a 28-7 win at Southside last night. And there comes the Munford Lions out at the locker room, a little undermanned tonight, but as you know, Eddie, they don't play the games on paper. You still have to go out and get the job done on the football field, and that's the task that awaits both of these teams tonight.
That's right. You can't, take for granted because they got certain players out. You're just going to go out and get a victory. You got to go play the game.
In fact, the captains and looks like the entire team for Munford coming out of the field house, at least across the way from us. And Lincoln should be coming out here shortly. The 81st matchup all-time between Lincoln and Munford. Of course, not all that long ago. This would have been a huge 3A, 4A type of rivalry matchup when it comes to region play. But Lincoln, especially with the growth of the community, over the last few years, they're up to 5A, and I imagine, Eddie, it's probably not going to be all that much longer till we hear maybe Lincoln become a 6A school.
Well, with the growth and all, I'm actually surprised they hadn't already reached that point as of now.
So we have at least the toss of the coin coming up here in just a moment as we take a look at some of the captains across the way for Munford. Lake Walters, that we saw at Talladega County Media Day about a month ago. Also Cam Tucker, B.J. Anderson, at least three of those four captains, as well as also a young man, the senior Caden Mosley, we also saw about a month ago at Talladega County Media Day. Munford, a disappointing 2-8 season last year. They did have a number of injuries that affected their journey last year, and they're looking to duplicate the start of the season that they had at this time last year when they defeated Lincoln 30-3. Munford trying to be the first road team in this series to come out with a victory since 2016, as the home team in this series has won every single year since. Now, Munford has had the upper hand as far as recent games. As we gave you a look earlier, they've won 9 of their last 12 in this series, and they have a 5-game series advantage overall in this series. A lead of 42 wins to 37 losses and a tie all-time against Lincoln dating back to 1946. Here comes the Lincoln captains, as it appears they'll be wearing their charcoal gray tops tonight for their 2025 home opener. A very productive practice that was able to come out to just a couple days ago. Actually, Coach Brett Henderson put his team through a 3-hour practice, but told his team afterward it was one of their most productive practices, one of their best practices that they had had all season long. We'll take a look at the trio of captains for the Golden Bears. Jacarian Turner, Cade Correct, 2 of those 3 captains. And then the third, Braden Collins, that we saw as part of our FNN Coaches Show on Tuesday. As Thomas Pratt, our referee tonight. Our toss of the coin, again, brought to you by Brickhouse Barber Shop. And in just a few moments, we'll send it down to Thomas Pratt for our opening coin toss for this Friday evening. We'll see if we can pick up Thomas Pratt. If not, no worries.
3 captains have been chosen captains. You are leaders of your team. We need Gray here. All right, we have Miss Gilliland here.
Of course, Rodney Gilliland being celebrated as far as the tragic accident that he had during the off season, and his number at least brought out to midfield as well, as Rodney Gilliland, the late Rodney Gilliland's mother, the honorary captain as far as the coin toss tonight. Here's the toss of the coin. As it appears, Munford has won the toss. So Munford will defer their option until the second half.
You're going to receive.
So Lincoln will take the football to begin the final.
But you're back to this goal line.
Lincoln will take the football to begin this final Friday in the month of August as football is underway, the second week of the season, and officially week one as far as that 11-week regular season across the state of Alabama. As the rest of the Lincoln Golden Bears about to make their way out onto Keith Howard Memorial Stadium for the first time this season. Eddie, give us what you think are your keys that you will be looking for both teams tonight.
Well, I think both of these teams are going to try to put the ball in the air, so I think that, whichever team secondary step up right here. And, of course, you got to limit the penalties that you get, but I think whichever secondary is shows their hand is going to be the team that come out on top because both of these teams like to throw the football.
Here comes the Munford Lions across the way off to from the north end zone. Munford at 2-8 last year, but one of those two wins came against the Lincoln Golden Bears over at Munford High to begin the 2024 season as the Lincoln fans get ready to come out of their seats and cheer on their Golden Bears as here comes the Lincoln Golden Bears for the first time this season onto Keith Howard Memorial Stadium. A turf playing surface as last year one of the most disappointing seasons in program history at 0-10. A 15-game losing streak coming in as their last win came on October 6, 2023 against the Munford Lions. So really, in a lot of ways, a clean slate, not only for Brett Henderson as far as beginning his tenure as a head coach, but for this Lincoln High School football program.
And that's the way you want to look at it. Come in and forget the past, that losing streak. Forget all of that and just come in and try to establish your philosophy and your game plan.
I tell you what, at least as expected, Eddie, an outstanding crowd here at Lincoln High School tonight.
Well, they're still coming in.
Yeah, still traffic backed up onto Highway 77, at least looking from our press box vantage point. Always good, though, as far as seeing the local communities all across our part of the state of Alabama come out and support their young men and ladies as far as the cheerleaders, the band, as well as, of course, the high school football players on each and every Friday night. We're about ready to get things started. Our second game of the week. As our kickoffs tonight brought to you by Carter's Hardware. And our first quarter by our friends at Perez Remodeling. There's a little pooch kick as it's at least batted around. I'm not sure. I don't think it got 10 yards, but it may have touched a Lincoln Golden Bear. And looks as if that the officials indicate that Munford will get the football. So a very interesting Carter's Hardware kickoff to get things started on this Friday night.
Yeah, I was a total bust on that play. All he had to do was let it fall, and he get the ball right there where it is. But just being over aggressive.
Sergio Organo for Munford on the kickoff, so that means we'll have our first look at the Lions offense as Braden Nichols, the junior, gets his first start. B.J. Anderson, a longtime starter, will be at wide receiver today as a flag on the play, and the give goes to Braylon Stewart as he doesn't get very much, but we'll find out who the flag is on. We'll also see Javier Curry in the backfield at running back. Cam Tucker, B.J. Anderson, and Kane Kraft-Heffer, the wide receivers. We'll find out from Thomas Pratt as far as the penalty. Looks like just a sideline warning that goes on Lincoln, so that's their first sideline warning of the evening. And no gain on the play, by the way. That sets up a second down and long. Caden Mosley, the senior, a 4-year starter, gets the start at left tackle for Munford as they have a 2nd and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Here's the quick throw over the middle into traffic, but caught around midfield as you had 4 gray shirts around the ball as Cam Tucker nears the area as he's a little slow to get up.
Well, his helmet popped off and he got hit in the back, so,
check that. They say he wasn't able to hold on to the football as the helmet comes loose with 4 Lincoln defenders around Cam Tucker as he is still down on the ground right above the Lincoln Golden Bear logo. Certainly seeing a few stars right now out on the field, Eddie, is Cam Tucker.
Right, I never understood that, man. Something that drove me crazy was my guys. If you can pull that helmet off immediately like that, you don't have your chin strap tight enough. And I used to get all over them about that, man. I mean, you gotta protect yourself because that's a concussion waiting to happen.
3rd down. Line to reach for the first down is the Lincoln 48-yard line. Perez Remodeling presents our first quarter. Just underway in the 81st meeting ever between Lincoln and Munford. Nichols awaits the snap. And he's going to give it off to Curry as he's wrapped up in the backfield for a big-time loss as Braylon Strickland, the senior linebacker, comes up with the TFL.
Oh, he just totally unblocked right there. He came in, squared up. Nice open field tackle right there. He squeezed, got back out.
Yeah, you're right, Eddie.
Technique sound.
No one able to lay a hand on the senior linebacker, Braylon Strickland, as it'll set up a punting scenario. Braden Nichols stays in the game to punt. As Lincoln will get the football for the first time here in just a moment. And before the snap, we have whistles down on the field, a flag on the play. Looked as if the play clock might have expired.
They got illegal motion.
We'll find out from Thomas Pratt. Indeed, an illegal motion, as Eddie Bullock mentioned. So mark it back 5 yards. A good start for Lincoln defensively, as despite at least fumbling, or at least misplaying the kickoff and giving Munford a free possession, the Golden Bears get a 3-and-out as here's the Nichols punt. A wobbly end-over-end punt fielded about the 31-yard line. As trying to turn the corner and able to turn the corner is Braden Collins as he gets the Golden Bears some outstanding field position across midfield as we'll take another look at that Nichols punt return. Or check that Collins punt return as he's able to find the right side and get to midfield as the Golden Bears in business for the first time tonight offensively as they'll have the football right at midfield. In fact, let's take a look at the Lincoln offense as Nick Catlett, the junior, will get the start at quarterback. Jalen Adair and Keaton Fields will be in the backfield. To correct the tight end. Braden Collins and Jamichael Ellis are the receivers. There you see the nose of the football right at midfield. As the give goes to the deep back Adair as he finds room off the right side. As he'll go forward for our first down of the evening, brought to you by our friends at the Chamber of Commerce in Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega. And there you see, we had our buddies from the Chamber of Commerce in Talladega, Lincoln, and Munford for our first game of the season down at ASD. Happy to have them back with us this week. First down and 10 now for Lincoln at the 39-yard line. There's a little pop pass as Collins with room off the left side as he turns the corner, and he's ridden out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And a couple of big plays in first down. Don't see any penalty flags, or there appears to be a little laundry out on the field. In fact, there is a flag on the field. In fact, Thomas Pratt pointing thankfully to me up here in the press box where that flag is. Had a really nice conversation prior to, at least when getting out, to come to Lincoln to our press box location earlier today with Thomas Pratt. We also saw him down at ASD a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you got 2 flags down, James. They discussing the first one.
So we'll sort things out here as we're early in the first quarter. There's a look at the first-year head coach Brett Henderson. So you got a hold on Lincoln. And also a personal foul that goes on Munford. So I think the personal foul was after the play. And so it will result in any case in a Golden Bears first down. Almost a couple of minutes played in our contest. The final game for these two teams in the month of August, as we will start region play and the month of September next week. So the final tune-up for most of the state of Alabama before region play begins. So what would have been a first down, deep first down reception for Braden Collins, wiped off initially due to the holding penalty, and now they'll mark off the penalty as far as that personal foul. So that moves the football to the 25 of Munford, first down and 10.
It's like doing algebra, James. They mark the holding penalty off, and then they turn.
Hey,
you lose 10, you gain 15.
Hey, I'll leave the algebra in the classroom, as here's the give. Adair up the middle, wrapped up, spun around, and taken down just shy of the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the starters defensively for Munford. Up front, Markel Jenkins and Nathan Kellum, the defensive ends. Embry, Lavari Embry, the defensive tackle, and then Braden Hill, as well as Kane Kraft-Heffer, the outside linebackers. Inside linebackers of Lavaris Embry and Calvin Castleberry, and Luke Walters, the middle linebacker, as coming the other way. Lincoln able to get some operating room off the near side for Adair, as he's able to pick up the first down on this counter tray.
Well, you got a big block right here if you watch that block on this guy right here.
A good block on the outside that time by Jeffrey Martin and Kelvin Orr, the left tackle and left guard respectively for Lincoln. Also, Munford in the defensive backfield will have DeMario Hales and Cam Tucker, the corners, and Bryson Cooper, the safety, as we'll have a whistle. And it appears the first timeout called for by Brett Henderson and Lincoln. We'll take the timeout with them. Just shy of 9 minutes to go, opening quarter. No score, but Lincoln on the move here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Jalen Adair off right guard, able to take it in 4-6. A 7-yard touchdown run for Lincoln's Jalen Adair. As coming on for the extra point will be Noah Monroe. As there's the kick up, and it is good. And so with 8:53 to go in the first quarter, it is Lincoln 7 and Munford nothing here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Your neighbor neighborhood, Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Carter's Hardware, serving the Munford community since 1910. Brings us a Lincoln kickoff as Jalen Adair with a 7-yard touchdown run. 8:53 to go here in the opening quarter as Monroe with the kickoff. The short kickoff fielded just shy of the 9-yard line as a good open field tackle. As returning it for Munford was Laveris Embry. And a first down coming up for Munford as we'll take a look at this good special teams tackle. So it looked as if that Jalen Adair able to come up with a good textbook tackle that time on the kickoff as a first down and 10. Perez Remodeling brings you our first quarter. Also that drive for Lincoln as far as that touchdown drive. A little money in the bank, at least courtesy of our friends at FNN Bank. Longtime partners of ours here with FNN Game of the Week. That's bottled up as Curry couldn't find the running room off the right side as you take a look at Derek Tyson that helps out as far as assisting on the tackle. In fact, let's take a look at the Lincoln defense as Cade Correct at defensive end along with Savine Orr. Derek Tyson, the nose guard, Spencer Bibb and Braylon Strickland, the outside linebackers, Chance Cole and Joel Gaston, the inside linebackers, secondary, Jamichael Ellis and Cam Chapman, the corners, Sabin Thomas and Jacarian Turner, the safeties. There's a flag on the play.
Jim, Munford are losing a lot of helmets. They got concussion caps on, and they losing so many helmets.
So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty looks like on both teams as it appears that Thomas Pratt, Eddie, wants to make sure that all the extracurricular activity is nipped in the bud early. So second down and long. First down marker at the 36-yard line, their own. Lincoln able to score on their opening drive as they got the ball at midfield thanks to a good return from Braden Collins. And then really it was Jalen Adair doing most of the work in the backfield as far as the offensive production for the Golden Bears. Both teams begin their region schedule next week. But right now it's trying to at least put a W in the win column when it comes to this long-running rivalry. So second down, they'll say a loss of a couple for Javier Curry, the junior running back. Curry on the call, good blocking off the right side as he finds running room, and in the open, he could go down the sideline as he's going to take it to the house. Give him 6. Touchdown, Munford.
That's just outside zone, James. He busted to the outside right there in the gap, and they couldn't recover from the speed right there.
76 yards, and I don't think a Golden Bear defender touched him, Eddie.
Nobody touched him. He got right in the alley, and special delivery.
A little excitement for the visiting folks tonight as they're able to get a 76-yard touchdown from Javier Curry as Sergio Organo kicks it up. And it is good. So we'll take the timeout. 8:20 to go. Opening quarter knotted up at 7 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Gotta have a ring first. Remember, she has to say yes to the ring before she says yes to the dress. Riverside just makes it better.
Munford 7 and Lincoln 7 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Our second of two games this week. Southside fell in their home opener last night to Hoax Bluff 28-7. But right now, some early excitement as both teams able to get touchdowns on the board here in the early minutes of the first quarter. Another Carter's Hardware kickoff. As a short kickoff, at least fielded just across midfield. So the Lincoln Golden Bears, they're going to get some good field position, really good field position, in fact, here in their second drive of this first quarter. Perez Remodeling, locally and family-owned, brings you our first quarter. Of course, if you need a remodeling job done, make sure you give the folks at Perez Remodeling at least a call, 256-770-1661 or 256-419. As well, I imagine we'll take a look as far as Perez Remodeling plenty of times before we get through this opening quarter. Right now, Lincoln wants to try and retake the lead. Right up the middle goes Adair, as he'll take some tacklers with him, including Saban Thomas that came in from the secondary and run support. But right up the gut goes Lincoln, as it appears that we see the game plan early, Eddie, for Brett Henderson go right at this Munford defense.
Well, I think that's what he does. He'll punch it up in there 2 or 3 times, and then you'll see him try to bounce it outside and use the speed.
So a gain of 7 yards for Adair. Into Munford Lions territory now is the Golden Bear offense of Lincoln. Collins circles in motion. A little miscommunication, but Collins takes the handoff, tries to make something out of nothing, as he's able to get into the open field down the sideline as he's wrestled out of bounds. And I tell you, that could have gone for about a 3 or 4 yard loss, Eddie, but give credit to the wide receiver, Brayton Collins, for that nifty move.
Well, that's it. They had a mix-up in the backfield. That's just athleticism. You can't coach that. That's just something he did on his own.
Bryson Cooper on the tackle. That goes for a 24-yard gain for Brayton Collins. So another red zone trip coming up for Munford. Also, a Chamber of Commerce of Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega first down. I formation. Here's the counter give. Adair slips out, almost slipped out of the tackle. I thought he was going to slip out of that tackle, but not so much, says Markel Jenkins on that tackle.
You had one missed block on that. He was one block away from walking in the end zone.
Now, that's what I thought was going to happen, Eddie, but Jenkins does a really nice job of being able to finish the play, at least behind the line of scrimmage, so he'll get a tackle for a loss of 1. Second drive for Lincoln, trying to go 2 for 2 as far as punching the ball in the end zone. Able to get a 6-yard touchdown run from Jalen Adair. Check that, a 7-yard run. Now a 2nd and 11. As here's to give Adair off left guard, as he'll bang his way across the 15 to about the 14-yard line, and Markel Jenkins active as he factors into the tackle again for the Lions. So third down now. A 6-yard gain for Adair. As the quarterback, Catlett, will come over to the sideline to get the play. A manageable 5 yards to go. Not quite halfway through the opening quarter. Ace formation for Lincoln. And here's the play fake and the throw to the far side. That's incomplete. So in and out of the hands, looks like, of the backup tight end slipping into the ball game that time was Kaleman Hamrick, as it'll set up a 4th down and 5. So 6:06 to go There you see just a few ticks above the 6-minute mark, so we're close to, I imagine, our first heat timeout of the evening. And they're going to send the field goal unit out here in Noah Monroe for what would be a 31-yard try. Ball at the left hash mark, the near hash mark. Snap and holder there, and the kick. Does it have the distance? It does, and it is good. A 31-yard field goal for Noah Monroe. 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. As there you see the hold leading to the three-pointer for Lincoln as we'll take the timeout here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
A back-and-forth ball game early. 6 minutes to go here in the opening quarter as a 31-yard field goal by Noah Monroe puts Lincoln back on top. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones down along the sidelines. Also Jackson New, one of our newest members of the FNN family with us this season. And, of course, Jim Jacobs and the crew behind the scenes doing a great job as always as we're halfway through the first quarter. The 81st meeting in this rivalry matchup as Munford was able to dominate last year over at Munford to open up the season, but right now a lot more competitive as here comes a Carter's Hardware kickoff. Monroe ready to meet toe with leather. There's the end over end kick. That'll be fielded just shy of the goal line. Angling to the far side and able to get some pretty decent return yardage is Saban Thomas. As he'll get across the 20, in fact, close to the 30-yard line. First down and 10 coming up for Munford. A good start so far, and actually, at least considering just the off-the-field circumstances this week, Eddie, for Munford, this is actually a pretty decent start for them so far tonight.
It is. It's a great start. I mean, that's how you want to answer. Lincoln came out and just kind of ran it down the throat and scored the first time. And, that's how you want to answer. When you get a possession, you come back, 60-plus yard run. So, hey, that's how you want to answer.
Nichols awaits the snap. As Curry gets the call off the right side, has some running room across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Defensively, the linebacker Chance Cole, the senior, on the stop.
He's getting some great blocking from his receivers on the perimeter, too.
So a couple of outstanding runs, a 76-yard touchdown run for Curry, and then that 7-yard first down run on his last two carries. And take a look at the defensive back free safety, Jacarian Turner for Lincoln, and now the Munford offense looks to the sideline to Coach Michael Easley for the next play. Pistol formation on second and short. It'll be the quarterback keeping that time, and a little miscommunication as far as the handoff, it looks like. But Lincoln able to penetrate through as Spencer Bibb finishes off the play, the outside linebacker on the tackle.
I think that was a quarterback lead. They just he didn't disengage fast enough, and therefore, it just kind of got bogged up right there.
Third down. Line to reach the 40 to keep this drive alive. They'll spot the football at the 35-yard line, so that was a loss of a couple on the play. A momentum type of play on third down for Munford. Play clock down to 6. Under 5 as Nichols takes his time. At 1, gets the snap off as he's under pressure, rolls out. needs a receiver, and now throws and finds his receiver complete for the first down. That was some good poise, Eddie, on the part of Nichols as he was able to find his safety valve receiver for the first down as Landon Gallagher on the reception.
And the receiver just sat in the hole. Normally you do a scrambling drill right there, but he didn't do a whole lot of scrambling for his quarterback. He was in the place where he's supposed to have been on the curl.
That was a very nice throw on the run to move the sticks on the Chamber of Commerce of Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega first down.
You're probably going to see a toss or a hand up. You'll see the outside zone to the left.
A gain of 19 on the previous play as Curry with some running room as he bangs his way forward across the 40 to the 39, maybe the 38 of Lincoln. So Munford showing a little fight in them here in the first quarter as they're on the move. They started about their own 30-yard line, and now they're into Lincoln territory inside the Golden Bears 40.
Well, they answering every drive that Lincoln puts together. Munford is coming back with a drive of their own, so that's what you want to do. That's the fight on them.
Approaching the 3-minute mark left in the opening quarter. Our first quarter brought to you by Perez Remodeling. Play clock down to 1, and looks as if that Coach Michael Leasley will have to burn a timeout. And we'll take the timeout with them. 2:53 to go, opening quarter. It is Lincoln 10 and Munford 7.
The Calhoun County Commission made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
A big third down completion from Nichols to Gallagher, able to keep the drive alive for Munford. As we're under the 3-minute mark, 2:53 to go in the first quarter. Lincoln has scored on both of their drives so far, and Munford on the move on their third drive as they scored on the 76-yard touchdown sprint by Javier Curry. Curry already closing in on 100 yards here in the first quarter. Second down as Curry off left guard as a good push by the Munford offensive line gets another Lions first down around the 32-yard line of Lincoln. You had looked as if right behind center that time, Caden Watts, the junior, along with Trey Key and Zachalem Leonard, the right guard, and Trey Key, the left guard, able to create that push to get Curry the first down. So first down and 10. Play clock already down to 15 as Munford out of the huddle. So a substitution comes back in as the play clock down to 7. A little miscommunication as now Munford tries to get the snap off, and they do. Here's the give off the right side, and nothing doing that time as Lincoln, one of their better efforts that time as far as defending that stretch handoff, as coming in to take the handoff was Braden Hill for Munford.
That's a tough play to run into the boundary, too. I don't care how much speed you got. That's just a tough play to he couldn't do anything but run straight out of bounds because Lincoln had that whole side sealed off.
Clock stopped at just over 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Second and long off that loss of a yard as Hill tries to stutter step, and he'll meet a swarm of Golden Bears defenders that time as Derek Tyson, one of those defenders, the nose guard, helps out on the tackle. And looks as if we have a Munford player down, and slow to get up is the ball carrier, Braden Hill. So it looks as if Hill at least able to get up as he'll trot to the far sideline. Perez Remodeling brings us our opening quarter. 1:48 to go now in the first quarter. It's been an entertaining first quarter so far as Lincoln took the first lead on an Adair 7-yard run, and then 2 plays later, actually, from scrimmage, it was Javier Curry sprinting 76 yards for the touchdown, and then Monroe with a 31-yard field goal. 3rd and 11. Line to reach the 23 for the first down. Nichols will swing it out, and that is complete. And some good blocking on the outside, as that's going to be close to the first down, as Saban Thomas on the reception. Nice play call that time, as Munford anticipated the blitz very nicely, as Nichols able to find Thomas and almost able to get the first down inside the 25 to, at least we'll say, the 25-yard line. So 4th down and at least just a couple to go. So they'll shift the offensive line, Will Munford.
Well, they're unbalanced to the left side. They got tackle over, so they run it. I guarantee you they're going to run to the left side. And Lincoln has not adjusted to the off balance. Oh, they went the wrong way.
A little mix-up as thrown down as Nichols in the backfield as the Golden Bears come up with a huge stop as Jacarian Turner on the TFL.
He was trying to go speed option to the right, but they quarterback and running back ran into each other.
That's a big defensive stop for Lincoln as they're able to bend but not break that time, as they'll take over the football around their own 30-yard line. 1st down and 10 coming up as we're coming up on the final seconds of this opening quarter in the 81st meeting between Lincoln and Munford.
23 black. Yep. I promise, Coach.
There you hear from Thomas Pratt having a little conversation, I imagine, with head coach Brett Henderson for Lincoln. Maybe a little extracurricular activity going on down on the field.
Right, and I don't think if they don't get that under control, somebody's probably going to be ejected because they've been doing it the whole game. I mean, both of them. I've seen several players kind of jawing at each other, pointing at each other, and it's okay to be excited, but, you know, if you're getting penalties against your team, that means you're undisciplined and you're just hurting your team.
And certainly not something unexpected as far as maybe little tempers flaring in a rivalry matchup.
Still got to be disciplined.
Unsportsmanlike penalty on defense, the 15-yard penalty, result is a 1st down.
So a post-play penalty, by the way.
Got to be disciplined, James. I have zero tolerance for that. You got to be disciplined because, you know, you hurting your team. It's not just you.
I'd say, remember last week at Oxford, we saw Andre Ford put a little dance move in the end zone, and that at least put Oxford in a bind as far as potentially putting that game away.
Absolutely. Touchdown, get called back, and then
Here's the reverse for Lincoln. A well-called reverse as on the carry Ellis as he's still roaming down the sideline across midfield and taken out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
That's a double reverse right there.
There's the speedy receiver Jamichael Ellis, the senior, as he takes the football from the 15 all the way into Munford territory at the Lions' 45-yard line.
Ellis got some wheels on him.
40 yards on that gain for Ellis as he was driven out of bounds. So they'll stop the clock at least momentarily and have likely one more play before we close out the opening quarter. A lot of building blocks being laid, at least from our friends at Perez Remodeling, when it comes to at least remodeling job for Lincoln or Munford as far as trying to get back into playoff contention. Here's the play fake as the toss down the field into coverage and caught with a flag on the play, and into the end zone is Braden Collins for the touchdown as Nick Catlett on the completion. As we'll find out the penalty, but you would think a pass interference, and if it is, it's going to be a touchdown.
And you had hand play, so I don't know if he's going to call that against a push-off on the offense. I'm not sure.
Now Brett Henderson all the way out to the numbers as we'll take a look at the penalty courtesy of Thomas Pratt.
Pass interference on the defense.
Pass interference against Munford.
Touchdown's good. Penalty put on the try.
So Catlett goes up top and gets a 45-yard touchdown pass to Braden Collins as we'll take another look.
If you watch right there, that's why you had some hand play at right there.
Yeah, there you see a little bit of the hands as far as two defenders on Collins, but Collins able to out-position him as Monroe boots the extra point to make it 17-7. Late first quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
It's game day, and from all of us at Bucks Island,
from the Loft Tackle Store,
from the team in service,
from the team in parts,
from the sales team,
from the Bucks Island family, good luck and go get 'em, boys.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I'm-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
Quarter as the lead now up to 10 for Lincoln as they stopped Munford on a 4th and short on the prior Lions offensive possession. And after an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that started the drive at the 15 for Lincoln, they were able to go 85 yards. A couple of big plays capped off by the 45-yard bomb from Nick Catlett to Braden Collins.
That's a huge momentum swing right there.
And also a post-play penalty as the kickoff booted around by Thomas as he'll come to the near side and gets licked just outside of the 15-yard line. Take a look at who made that special teams tackle. That was a solid tackle from Braylon Strickland that time. As Munford takes over first down and 10 as we are now through one quarter of play here at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium. As we'll take the timeout with them and begin the second quarter on the other side of this timeout with Lincoln on top 17-7.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
One quarter in the books here at Lincoln High School as the Golden Bears trying to break a 15-game losing streak. Their last win as far as a football program came in October of 2023 against the Munford Lions. As the second quarter about to begin, thanks to Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency serving Calhoun and Talladega County. So the Lions have the football backed up inside their own 20-yard line. As the give goes to Curry as he gets swallowed up in the backfield for a loss of a couple.
Well, when you have them pent back like that, hey, you can send everybody right there because they don't have many calls in the playbook right there.
Cade correct on the tackle for loss. So they'll spot the football back about the 15-yard line. That's a second down and long. Curry, already a 76-yard touchdown scamper tonight. Also, Nichols, a solid game so far as he wants to go down the field and just a little bit overthrown and incomplete, intended for the converted quarterback, B.J. Anderson.
It was a great shot, though. I mean, a great call.
Actually, a pretty good pass in tight coverage as well as a third down upcoming. Our second game of the week as we saw Pokes Bluff able to just run over Southside up at Barney Hood Stadium last night. Lincoln on top by 10, third down and a dozen. Nichols over the middle, and that's in and out of the hands. Might have been deflected as well. Intended for the running back, Javier Curry.
It was. It was a great call, great pass, and he just kind of caught it back on his back hip, and the defensive back was able to get a hand in on it.
Looked like a circle route out of the backfield that if Curry had held on, he might have still been running.
Absolutely.
Punting time coming up for Munford. Braden Nichols for his second punt of the night. There's the punt as Collins set to receive. As he'll watch that bounce. And now picks it up at midfield. Wants to come to the near side as he finds running room at the 25, at the 15. Still on his feet. Cuts it against the grain and goes to pay dirt for the touchdown. There's a Munford player down, but I tell you what, that was an exciting return by Braden Collins for Lincoln as we'll take another look. There you take a look at the stiff arm and then the reversal of field for Collins on his way to the end zone. As there is a Munford Lions player down back up field at the 37.
And I think you got a block in the back right down here, James. Right as he was cutting back.
Oh, man, that'd be unfortunate for Lincoln. As right now, a player down for the Lions is already the Munford trainer taking a look at, looks like, trying to see if that's a 1 or a 4 down on the field. Here you see Thomas Pratt indicate the block in the back. So a couple players out, multiple players out due to suspension for Munford tonight. And then already limited numbers, especially for the 4A classification, just 40 players in total. And it looks as if the young Lions man will thankfully be able to walk off the field. So it looks like that is number 4.
On the return team, 15 yards. 15 yards this time.
Braden Hill, the man that was injured for Munford. Thankfully, he was able to walk off on his own power. So that wipes off the touchdown. And so still makes it a 17-7 ball game. And I tell you what, Braden Collins has shown us a bit of excitement tonight on offense and special teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting actually, I believe you got 2. You got a blindside block, and you got a
and block in the back as well.
Oh, that is right there.
Here comes Lincoln out into the field, and we'll have a flag, looks like.
See, right there, and I think you got a block in the back right here. Right there, you got a block in the back.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, good call there, Eddie. A good look as far as that replay of what would have been a Braden Collins punt return touchdown. So the Golden Bears, with the 5-yard penalty, they'll have the football from their own 40-yard line. Here's the give off the right side as Adair struggles to get across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Good pursuit that time by the Munford defense. As you take a look as far as, looks like one of the reserve defensive linemen. So Caleb Leonard on the stop. So Lincoln really hasn't been stopped so far tonight as they've scored on all 3 of their offensive possessions, and we are coming up on 2 minutes played here in the second quarter.
Well, Braden Hill for Montfort, he has taken a lot of abuse, man. He was the one that got hit early, and he was the one on that blindside block that he just caught right there. His helmet popped off the first series, and he got hit in the back of the neck.
Timeout on the field. Timeout Lincoln will take the timeout with him. 9:51 to go until halftime with the Golden Bears on top by 10.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency brings us our second quarter. Also, just thinking as far as the number of hits that Braden Hill has taken, he's going to need a lot of 99-cent bags of ice from our friends at the Grub Mart after this one. He might need it sooner than that, probably once they get to halftime, as well as all the players down along the playing surface. Here's the swing pass, and that's thrown behind Adair, incomplete.
But that actually was it wasn't a lateral pass right there. That was a pass behind him, so I think that should have been a live ball.
In fact, a little bit surprised myself too, Eddie, that wasn't called a live football, as Jalen Adair had that ball thrown behind him.
Absolutely. He threw it about 2 yards behind him.
Nick Catlett already with a touchdown pass tonight. However, one of the rare third and longs we've seen from Lincoln offensively tonight. Catlett drops to throw, sets up, now throws down the field, and that's almost intercepted. Bryson Cooper, the closest to the football, as it appears he'll go down on the turf. Might have cramped up that time. Hopefully that's all it is, as Cooper at least down on the field at the 30-yard line. The FNN High School Football Game of the Week has Cooper trying to get up, and now at least looks as if he'll be okay as he'll walk off back to the sideline.
That turf monster getting a lot of them tonight.
And by the way, at least we found out we're alongside as far as the clock operator and a couple of our AHSAA officials as far as that most recent touchdown by Lincoln with the pass interference. That actually can now be transferred as far as the penalty yardage on the defense to the kickoff.
Right, and that's a new rule that they put in this year. That's why I inquired about it, because I know in the past you could either accept the penalty or decline. If you decline it, it's a touchdown.
Here comes the punting situation. A drop snap, and almost blocked that time. As Munford able to field thanks to B.J. Anderson, as they'll take over the football from the 31-yard line. But at least Lincoln earlier this week on the practice I went to, they had some issues as far as their punt protection team, and they almost did so that time too, as Wesley Huppard's lucky to get that punt off. That would have been a nice break for Munford if they'd been able to get a punt block.
Well, just anything to change the momentum.
Right now, Lincoln on top by 10 with 9:27 to go until halftime. Munford, opportunity to maybe draw within one score. There's Curry back in at running back. Nichols, the quarterback. Has the play fake and the quick throw over the middle, and that is complete. Or no, incomplete rather, as it goes in and out of the hands of the receiver that time.
Well, he had him wide open right there on the seam, and he actually had the outside receiver open on the 9 route, but he chose the inside route. And that was RPO. You know, he faked the running back, and he pulled it, and, he threw it right there. So
Landon Gallagher, the intended receiver. Here's the give. Curry as he cuts it up the middle and gets some tough yards across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. The tackle made by the Golden Bears from Chance Cole. So third down coming up. Line to reach the 40 for the first down as we have Thomas Pratt, the head referee. Nice blow the play dead himself.
Well, it's another helmet popped off again. That's like about the 5th time one of the Montfort players has lost his helmet.
This is the first game of the season for Munford tonight. Both teams will open their region schedule next week. Lincoln here at home against Center Point, and then Munford on the road next week at Tallahassee. Line to reach the 40-yard line for a Chamber of Commerce first down. Nichols has time, zips it across the field and dropped by Gallagher, or that would have been a Chamber of Commerce first down.
Absolutely. Perfect throw. I mean, he just took his eyes off it before he secured the football.
Oh, man, bless Gallagher that time because he had that in his hands, and he knows he would have had a lot of yardage and just couldn't look that football in. Punting time, as the Munford Lions will have to kick it away. Nichols stays in to punt, as there's Collins, the big play man, ready to return. A short spiraling kick, and that's going to get a Munford roll and come to a stop about the Lincoln 32-yard line. So under 9 minutes to go until halftime. Of course, our friends from the Calhoun County Commission, longtime friends of the FNN High School Football Game of the Week, once again joins us to present our Game of the Week. And there you see the 5 from the Calhoun County Commission. Also, Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency, serving Calhoun and Talladega County, brings you our second quarter. Lincoln was not able to score. In fact, the first time they did not score on a drive tonight, as they'll take over from their own 32-yard line. Catlett a touchdown pass to Collins. Also Adair with a touchdown run. As coming to the near side, Collins, as he'll turn the corner, and he gets the Chamber of Commerce of Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega first down. Able to get some solid blocking on the edge and turn the corner. Able to pick up 13 and a Lincoln first down. Second game of the season for Lincoln, as they had a 27-14 loss on the road at Shelby County last week. The Golden Bears trying to give Brett Henderson his first win as the Lincoln head coach. As Adair sprints to the far side, as he'll drag about 4 defenders with him, still moves the pile as he gets across the first down marker and still goes inside the 35. And I got to imagine, Eddie, that's going to fire up the Lincoln sideline.
That's almost a 20-yard run after contact.
I'll tell you what, that's a very, very nice effort that time from Jalen Adair, who already has a touchdown in the first quarter. And we'll have a whistle and looks like a stoppage in play. A timeout on the field. We'll take the timeout with them here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
$8:17 to go until halftime. Lincoln up by 10. As Adair, the deep back, skips around one defender, taps around another, and he'll try and get to the first down markers. He's sandwiched out of bounds by 3 Lions defenders. As you had at number 21, Kendarius Hickman help out on the tackle. Also a couple of others Lions, as we mentioned. Close to that Chamber of Commerce first down. As the football at the 23 of Munford. Opportunity for Lincoln to take potentially a 17-point lead if they can find the end zone. The Golden Bears primarily getting the job done offensively on the ground. Catlett operates out of the shotgun now as Collins in motion. Pop pass to Collins as he'll try and turn the corner, escapes one tackle, and scampers out of bounds for minimal yardage, about a couple at the 21-yard line. Even on a 2-yard gain, Collins always seems as if there's always that burst of excitement just waiting around the corner for him.
Well, it's just hard to tackle him, man, because he's so elusive. I mean, he's quick, and you really got to form up and buzz your feet before you make a play at him, because if you don't, you'll be grabbing air.
Football at the 21-yard line. It's a short yardage situation, so enough for at least the first down. Shotgun and the play fake and the quick throw and overthrown, incomplete as Cade Correct was all alone, but the throw was high.
Old school, James. It hit his hands. He's supposed to bring it in.
The tight end that time, as we'll take another look at what could have been the second touchdown pass of the night for Catlett. There you take a look, and that throw just sailed over the head of Cade Correct.
Yeah, he got his fingertips on it. That means you're supposed to jump.
He probably has my jumping ability, which is absolutely zero.
Oh, when they get in film session, he gonna wish he had that one back.
Second down. Munford shows blitz. Here's the give. Collins shifts and moves up the middle and gets free and heads to the end zone. And he is in. Touchdown, Lincoln. Braden Collins, his first rushing touchdown of the night, as we'll take a look at this 21-yard scoring run.
Yeah, he sticks his foot in the ground, turn it up. He got a good block right there. And he just split those guys right there.
So it looks as if that's going to come back, however. So they'll say a holding penalty on Lincoln.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
And there you hear Thomas Pratt tells us to wipe off the 7 or the 6 at least off the board for Lincoln. So that's the second time tonight that a touchdown has been wiped off the board for the Golden Bears, both coming here in the second quarter. Almost 7.5, below that 8-minute mark. So they'll spot the football now at the 31. Correct under pressure, gets it off into traffic and caught behind the defense inside the 10-yard line as Correct, the tight end, able to come up with the big play.
Hit his hands that time and he brought it in. He was not going to miss another opportunity.
That's a big, big-time throw from Catlett as he's able to squeeze that in between the two defenders, Hill as well as Bryson Cooper, the safety.
And they split him out, too, so, they wanted to go back to him and give him some confidence. He's one of their big-time players.
22 yards on the pass completion. First and goal. It's like Collins, the deep back.
Yeah, then the triple I again.
There's Collins as he swarmed under and wrapped up for a loss that time. Markel Jenkins with the tackle for loss. Football back now at the 9-yard line, a loss of a couple. About to go under 7 minutes here in the first half.
I like to see Collins east or west. I don't, when he's running north and south, he's not that power back to run between the tackles. But you get him on that edge, you don't see lightning.
Adair checks in. Second and goal from the 9. Lincoln trying to make this a 3-score margin. You have Collins in motion as the keeper for Catlett trying to follow his blockers as he'll get back to about the original line of scrimmage, as you had Luke Walters, one of the leaders on defense, the middle linebacker on the stop.
Well, and they had to play right there. It was quarterback lead, but it was just too slow developing. They were kind of jogging around the corner. That has to be a quick hitter.
And it looks as if there is a Munford player down all the way across on the other side of the field. Munford's had Braden Hill shaken up a couple of times. And while they take a look, we'll step aside for this timeout here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
James, let's keep it right here and give some fans updates on some scores that we have. Watching the social sites is Nathan over here to my immediate left. Piedmont romping Sachs 22-0. Fife and Pisgah, that's a big one there in 1A. Pisgah trails Fife 14-6. J.B. Pennington and Walter Welborn are tied up. Southside and Vinemont 14-8. Southside on top. Gunnersville leading Fort Payne 14-7. Scottsboro over North Jackson 14-0. Cherokee County leads Arab by a couple of touchdowns 14-7. North Sand Mountain 13. Eider zip. West End Walnut Grove 21. Sand Rock 8. Hewitt Trustful 2 touchdowns better than Gadsden City right now 21-7. And those are the scores we have for you at the moment. Let's see. We do have the Pell City score. Pell City and Coosa Christian are knotted at 7. And I understand that Pell City's coach has been ejected from that game.
Oh, wow. Coach Nick Gentry sent to the showers quite fashionably early tonight before they could even get to halftime.
Yes, and Jim, you know who I want to hear. I want to hear that Oxford Moody score.
I'm sure we'll probably find out here.
Eddie, ask and you shall receive. Let's see what we got right here. We got Moody trailing Oxford.
Here's a throwback pass to the end zone for a touchdown as Cade Correct able to reel in the pass for the Lincoln touchdown. We'll take another look here as a throwback pass behind the D. Good hands in using that 6'4 frame is Correct, the junior tight end, as he scores his first touchdown.
And I don't know if it's on the unsportsmanlike is on the spike or if it's on the taunt.
And probably either way, as you see Thomas Pratt bring out his writing utensil in paper.
For me.
I imagine Correct will be listed as far as
After the play, we had an unsportsmanlike penalty on the offense. The penalty would be placed on the kickoff.
So Monroe coming up for the PAT. He's been successful on both of his prior PAT attempts and his lone field goal, as we'll have a flag thrown down on the play. Once again, Thomas Pratt about to tell us as far as the penalty.
Before the snap, dead ball, encroachment, defense, half the penalty to the goal, retry.
So now they'll spot the football at the 8-yard line for this upcoming PAT.
Real quick, Eddie, Oxford trails Moody 17-0.
A good start for Moody so far tonight as Monroe's PAT kick is up and good. We'll take the timeout. Just under 6 minutes to go until halftime. It is Lincoln 24 and Munford 7.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Carter's Hardware, serving the Munford community since 1910. They'll present this kickoff coming up. Carter's Hardware has been with this long-running rivalry ever since Munford and Lincoln first played against each other back in 1946. So that tells you how long that Carter's Hardware has been serving the Munford community. And big thanks to Carter's Hardware for joining us again this evening. Also the same to Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency, serving Calhoun and Talladega counties. Anderson back to receive. Also check that Saban Thomas, the deep man, as it'll be Thomas taking it across the 45. A short kickoff by Monroe, well, due to the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, as they had to return the kickoff, or at least kick it off, I should say, from their own 45. So first down and 10 coming up. And listen, news feature as far as our FNN games of the week, as far as spotlighting our players for this evening's ball game. We'll hear later on from Shasta Jones as far as some of our players that are suiting up tonight. Munford and Lincoln going at it for the 81st time in series history. Nichols, a quick throw to Anderson. A bubble screen pass doesn't get very much, however, as you have the middle linebacker Chance Cole, among others, that helps out on the stop. Also, Jamichael Ellis with the assist. That's not going to get a whole lot. In fact, they might not have gotten but a couple. Second and long. As the keeper for Nichols trying to outrace the defense, but he's not going to win that battle. He's wrapped up deep in the backfield for a loss. Looks as if Jamichael Ellis might have been one of those players that got in on the tackle on Nichols. All the way back at the Munford 40-yard line, a loss of 7.
Well, that was a 25-yard run lateral.
There is no way that play was going to work, Eddie.
Not with the speed that Lincoln has.
That's one thing that Michael Easley mentioned to me earlier this week, was just the speed and athleticism that Lincoln has on this roster this year.
Absolutely. I mean, speed, you can't coach speed. I mean, you just got to try to be technique sound against it and do what you can, but, you know.
Third and long as Nichols sets up the screen. Curry complete, trying to get around the initial defender and bounce it to the far side as he gets taken down about the original line of scrimmage. Good contain that time by the Lincoln defense as Spencer Bibb, the outside linebacker, finishes off the play.
Well, he had to bounce it outside. You had a missed block by one of the offensive linemen, and had he made that block, Kerr probably been running straight up the middle of the field, but he missed it, and Kerr had to kind of bounce it outside.
Nichols to punt from about his own 31-yard line. Also Collins for Lincoln, about his own 25. That might have gone off the side of the foot for Nichols, as we'll see where that's spotted out of bounds, as it's going to result in outstanding field position to start this drive for the Golden Bears. Lincoln trying to break a 15-game program losing streak dating back to mid-October of 2023. Looks as if Coosa Christian able to get on top of Pell City. Of course, an interesting dynamic up at Gadsden as far as Rush Probst taking over on an interim basis, taking over the Conquerors program, at least for this year, and facing at least his old school in Pell City. Of course, Pell City just across Logan Martin Lake from us here in Lincoln. Here's the deep give. And Adair out in the open field as he spins out of a tackle and drags a tackler with him across the 25 to the 22-yard line. A Chamber of Commerce of Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega first down. Counter play as you take a look at a missed tackle that time as Adair brings Camden Truss along with him inside the 25.
Well, he's getting huge gainers yards after contact. You know, you got your yak yards, yards after catch, and he's getting yards after the contact, initial contact. He's getting 15 to 20 yards.
Here's our first down as out of the I now into the shotgun.
Watch for the quarterback draw right here.
As here's before the quick pass, we've got a whistle and a flag on the play. So far,
offense, that's what he's got. Be first down.
You hear from Thomas Pratt.
Good ball. False start. Offense, 5 yards, still first down.
So the one downside as far as Lincoln's performance in the first half has been the amount of flags, whether the unsportsmanlike conduct or, in that last case, the pre-snap penalty.
Right, several penalties, and the majority of them has been unsportsmanlike.
And they have at least, I think, 3 of those so far in this first half. Definitely 2 run off the top of my head. Long yardage situation as Catlett wants to go up top. And his pass is too long and incomplete. There's Jamichael Ellis, the intended receiver. So it'll be 2nd down and 15. As we're closing in on the late minutes of the opening half. Actually, 2:25 to go until halftime. So the clock stops there as we take a look at the timeout scenario. Both teams have just 1 timeout at their disposal. Here's Catlett on the roll. Tosses and nobody home. Incomplete. So just nobody open that time, so just as good for Catlett just to get rid of the football. And we'll have a 3rd down, but a flag on the play. It appears that Thomas Pratt's initial indication is a hold on Lincoln. I imagine we'll hear from Brett Henderson prior to his Golden Bears going to the locker room.
And unless you're trying to get them out of field goal range, James, I would decline this penalty.
Offense, that penalty's declined. 3rd down.
There you go, right on cue, Eddie. Catlett already with a couple of touchdown passes, one to Braden Collins and the other to Cade Correct, the tight end. Football at the 27 of Munford. They need to get to the 12 for a first down. Here's a screen pass over the middle, complete to Adair. As he turns the corner, gets the first down, and he'll get closer to the goal line as he stopped around the 2-yard line. A well-executed screen pass as there you take a look at Adair. Turn the corner and gets the blocks he needs to almost get to the end zone. So from the 27 on 3rd and 15, that's a gain of 25 as a 1st and goal awaits Lincoln at the 2.
But that's old school football, James. You are on 3rd and long, you always look for screens or draws. Only other play they can run is something deep. Nothing mid-range will come.
Give right up the gut and easy doing as far as the Lincoln touchdown. Looked like a new running back into the ball game as Braylon Strickland in to take the carry that time.
Just a lead, straight lead.
Indeed, number 8, Braylon Strickland, his first touchdown of the night from 2 yards out. And so that means Noah Monroe comes on for the point after. All Lincoln so far in the first half. Was briefly tied up at 7 midway through the first quarter. There's the PAT kick. It is up, and it is successful. 1:36 to go until halftime. It's Lincoln 31 and Munford 7.
It's game day. And from all of us at Bucks Island,
From the Loft Tackle Store.
From the team in service.
From the team in parts.
From the sales team.
From the Bucks Island family, good luck and go get 'em, boys.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I'm-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
1:36 to go until halftime as the Lincoln Golden Bears appear to be on their way to snapping a 15-game losing streak and also to avenge a 30-3 loss last season to Munford. But at least right now, still this 1:36 of the second quarter and all of the second half still to go. Munford a little short-handed this evening, but Lincoln able to take advantage of great field position as they've been efficient for the most part on offense tonight. Monroe on the Carter's Hardware kickoff, as that's fielded over at the far side around the 15-yard line by Laveris Embry as he moves the football across the 20 to the 21-yard line. I imagine that Brett Henderson, although certainly will be satisfied as far as his team's effort in the first half, probably still not completely pleased as far as all areas of the game with his team through the first two quarters.
Well, you can't be until the game is over with. You know, you always want to find something that you can improve on and keep your players motivated, because if you do that, a lot of times they tend to get a little lackadaisical and think they already got the game won. Anything can happen.
Here's Nichols off the right side as he gets stood up by Ellis shy of the 30-yard line at the 29, so that's a gain of 8 yards on first down. Munford with 40 players on the roster this year. They have multiple players suspended tonight due to undisclosed reasons. So second down coming up as we go under the 1 minute mark here in the first half. Nichols before that looked as if that Javier Curry got an early head start.
Yeah, I think they jumped the gun that time. Everybody was moving except for the center and the football.
Well, that's never a good thing for the offense, as that'll mark it back 5 yards. Well, in fact, let's say our Shasta Jones across the way in position, ready to get Coach Brett Henderson once we finish off the final seconds of this first half.
Well, you don't want to make a mistake either, because you know how electrified Lincoln is right now. So you want to be a little conservative and go into the halftime, with the score where it is right now.
Shotgun snap coming up, and now the give to Curry as he has room and explodes off the left side of the offensive line as he gets to the 45-yard line. Close to it, as we'll have a stoppage in play, and looks as if another player down and a flag back at the 25-yard line. In fact, the flag appeared to be dropped by the referee and Thomas Pratt. We'll move that flag upfield about the 34-yard line. And it appears that the play will stand as far as that Munford Chamber of Commerce first down. We'll take another look at that explosive run from Javier Curry. And a personal foul, it appears, that goes on Lincoln. So a dead ball post-play penalty that time. That's like the third or fourth one we've seen from the Golden Bears in the first half. A timeout for Munford, as we'll keep it here. We'll have our halftime coverage coming up here at Lincoln. I believe we're going to hear from our Jackson New as far as at least one of the special tributes when it comes to the Munford football program. Of course, Rodney Gilliland, tragic passing over this past offseason. And, of course, that has just shooken up the Munford community. And so they had, actually his mother was the honorary captain as far as the coin toss this evening. And his number 51 brought out to midfield prior to today's game. So after that first down run for Curry, coming out of the timeout, ball at the Lincoln 45-yard line.
Well, they don't have any more timeouts, so you're either going to have to get the ball out of bounds or you're going to have to try to take a shot.
Nichols.
You got to run out of bounds if he stops in bounds.
Check that, I beg your pardon. Anderson took the snap off the right side and shy of the first down, as that will take us to halftime here at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium. All Lincoln so far in the first half has Cade correct with a couple of touchdowns. As I mention hear from Brett Henderson shortly. As Shasta Jones awaiting Lincoln's first-year head coach. Also, Javier Curry with a 76-yard touchdown here in the first half as Munford trying to get their season started on a good note as the Lincoln Golden Bears, at least in the huddle prior to at least going to their halftime locker room as Munford makes their way. Both teams' locker rooms, at least across the way here at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium. But right now, Lincoln in great position to at least put themselves in position for what would be their first win of the season and first win since October of 2023. And now Lincoln set to make their way to their home locker room. An outstanding facility here at Lincoln High School, Keith Howard Memorial Stadium. As our Shasta Jones trying to track down Coach Brett Henderson. Brett Henderson coming over from Cherokee County after a successful stint as defensive coordinator and an assistant on Jacob Kelly's coaching staff at Cherokee County High School. Here comes Coach Brett Henderson and our Shasta Jones in position. We'll send it down to Shasta with Lincoln coach Brett Henderson.
Coach Henderson, your team turned it on fire on offense this whole first half, especially the catch by Braden Collins down there in double coverage. What do you guys need to do to turn off the penalties the second half?
Well, we're going to get that fixed when we get in this locker room because I'm telling you, I've told them before, act like you've been here before. It's the most frustrating thing to have success, and we just keep getting ourselves, backed up every single time. It's dumb. We got to get it cleaned up, and I'll take responsibility on that and make sure we get it fixed.
Awesome. Well, good luck in the second half.
Well, thank you so much. Bear down.
Thank you. We're going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Shasta, and thank you, Coach Henderson, as we'll go ahead and take the halftime timeout here at Lincoln High School with the Golden Bears of Lincoln on top of the Lions of Munford 31-7.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
At halftime at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium on the campus of Lincoln High School as the Golden Bears on their way, it appears, to breaking a 15-game program losing streak up 31-7. Our halftime coverage brought to you by the Calhoun County Commission as the Munford Marching Band getting ready to perform for the first time this season. This is the Munford Lions season opener for the 2025 season and the second game for Lincoln here in 2025 and their first at home. And there you see the 5 outstanding folks on the Calhoun County Commission as the Munford Marching Band performs here at halftime. At halftime here at Lincoln High School at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium as the Golden Bears of Lincoln lead 31-7 over Munford. But really the big story for Munford in the offseason, of course, with the tragic passing of Rodney Gilliland. And one of our members, as far as our FNN crew, very familiar as far as Rodney's impact as far as the Munford community. Our own Jackson New joins us now to talk more about the life of Rodney. And Jackson, just kind of tell the FNN community as far as just what Rodney meant to you as well as the Munford community as a whole.
Bright light in the community, and it's just like, I mean, to this day, like I said, it's still so surreal to me. I remember when I transferred to Munford my junior year, I got there late and I didn't have a football helmet, so I was on the sideline with Rodney, who was dealing with a back injury at the time. So for about 4 weeks I was on the sidelines with him, and me and him just talked straight football for 4 straight weeks. And it's just that's one of my most fond memories of him.
Just kind of tell us as well, just as far as when did you first find out as far as when Rodney left this earth?
Probably about an hour after the accident happened, man, and it was just devastating news, devastating news.
I mean, just so sad, especially when he was doing as far as just serving people like I'm sure he loved to do. Just kind of talk about his overall impact, not only for the Munford community, but just the effect that it's had on this football program for Munford.
I mean, it had a major effect on the whole community, not only the school, not only the community, but I mean, he was just, like I said, just such a bright light in this community and such a good kid, man. And it's just such an unfortunate accident. And I'll say this, Rodney, you're gone now, but you'll never be forgotten, and it's forever 51.
And you've mentioned a couple of times Rodney being a bright light. What made him, as far as just as a person, such a bright light?
Just his personality, man. I mean, he was such a nice guy, such a funny guy. I mean, every room he walked into, he just lit it up.
That is definitely a type of presence, not just on the football field, in the locker room, but in the community. That is, especially from a young man, Jackson, that is tough to miss. Jackson, a big thanks for your perspective as Rodney Gilliland's impact still being felt in the Munford community. At halftime, it is Munford down to Lincoln 31-7. We'll have more of our halftime coverage presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
A comfortable Friday evening to close out the month of August. And, of course, college football begins in earnest tomorrow, but the Auburn Tigers, they're already underway as far as their season opener out in Waco, Texas against the Baylor Bears. And for Munford and a few other teams around the state of Alabama, today is their inaugural game as far as the 2025 regular season. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones, Jackson New, Jim Jacobs, and our FNN crew, as we've heard from the Munford Marching Band. And here comes the Lincoln Golden Bears Marching Band performing for the home folks for the first time this season, as we'll throw it down to the Lincoln High School Marching Band. the Lincoln High School Marching Band here at halftime, as we'll go ahead and take the time out here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Our halftime coverage brought to you by the Calhoun County Commission.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality.
Recap of the first half. Back and forth early between Lincoln and Munford, as it was tied up early on in the first quarter at 7 apiece. But really after Lincoln was able to get that 31-yard field goal from Noah Monroe, that's when they started to get things in gear. So we'll take a look at some of our highlights from the first half. Munford a little undermanned coming into tonight. But Javier Curry, over 100 yards in the first half. You see him get this first down run. I believe this was late in the second quarter. But he was also able to score on a 76-yard sprint early in the first quarter for what's turned out to be the only score for Munford in the first half. But I tell you what, Lincoln, you take away the penalties that they had, especially the personal foul penalties, Eddie, and they've had a pretty successful first half.
Absolutely. And they're pulling out all stops. You could tell they wanted this win, but, as Coach mentioned at halftime, he said he was going to take care of those penalties in the locker room, because I told you I'm sort of old school, and I just believe that's a lack of discipline.
I'll tell you what, coming out here Wednesday to watch Coach Brett Henderson's practice, he was very spirited and hands-on as far as leading his team through a 3-hour practice. But he certainly was pleased as far as that Wednesday practice this week. And all right, now on top 31-7 as the Golden Bears come out of the halftime locker room. We've heard from Coach Brett Henderson, and we're awaiting to hear from Munford head coach Michael Easley. As we'll take a look at some of the early highlights, and a big lick that time. I believe that was the first play of the ball game as Braden Hill took the receiving end of that shot. And then Curry was stood up and taken down for a loss by Braylon Strickland. And then Collins has the potential of having a very exciting year as he takes that punt return 20 yards to set up. And that's what turned out to be the first score of the night for Lincoln. Jalen Adair inside the 9. And then able to rush it in from 7 yards to give the Golden Bears the first lead of the ball game. There's Noah Monroe able to come on to cap off that scoring drive. A kickoff return for Munford as LaVeris Embry sets up the field position eventually for this lone score of the night from running back Javier Curry of 76 yards. That tied up the ball game at 7, but Collins and company able to make big play after big play as Collins able to make something out of nothing down the sideline. As that set up a 31-yard field goal by Noah Monroe to make it 10-7 in favor of Lincoln, a lead that the Golden Bears have not relinquished so far. As there's Gallagher that took in a third down reception in a scramble situation to extend a drive. But that was a big drive for Lincoln defensively as they ended up stopping Munford on downs inside the Lincoln 30-yard line. And then Braden Collins and company just took over after that. A long punt return. And then the play-action pass from Catlett as he went on top to find Collins for the 45-yard touchdown. And then a punt return that should have gone, or at least initially did go for the touchdown, but that was called back. And we take a look as far as this missed opportunity. I believe we are ready for Coach Michael Easley as our Shasta Jones with Coach Easley.
Coach Easley, this first half, I mean, your offense tried. Curry put some points on the board for you. Your defense played hard. They took some hard hits, but they weren't able to stop the passing and running game. What needs to take place the second half to change that?
Well, we've had some injuries. We got to have guys stop going down. We've had some crucial injuries that really put us in a bind. We've been outmanned in some positions, and that's going to happen sometimes. But we got to find a way to make plays. Our kids have played hard, but the big plays have killed us so far. And like I said, we're outmanned in a couple positions, but the injuries right now have just crippled us in some spots.
Well, we want to thank you, and good luck the second half.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Shasta. And you hear just in the tone of voice from Coach Easley, Eddie, that's a tough position for Munford to be in right now.
It is. I always injuries, man. When I was playing, I had the mentality of next man up, but I have a little more empathy for him now, being in the press box up here. And it's just tough when you can't match the physicality or the talent level across the line from you.
When you're a few players down from what's already, especially for Class 4A, kind of very much on the lower end as far as a roster size for Munford this year. You have off suspensions as far as behind the scenes as well as injuries taking place. We'll talk more about that, but we'll pay some bills. And when we come back, we'll start the third quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I'm-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Munford and Lincoln, one of East Alabama's, and really one of Alabama's longest-running rivalries for that matter, as we also celebrate 15 years of high school football when it comes to the FNN High School Football Game of the week. Our final game in the month of August is we'll make the trip over to Jacksonville to Golden Eagle Stadium next week for the first region game for us this season. Moody will take on Jacksonville, what could be a really big tone-setting type of matchup for region play for both of those teams. 6:30 for our Bama Sheds countdown to kickoff, and then 7 o'clock as always when toe meets leather. Lincoln got the football to begin this ball game. Munford won the toss, and they will now receive the football as Lincoln will boot it away on the Carter's Hardware kickoff. Our third quarter also presented tonight by the Tractor Place. A big thanks for all of our sponsors for joining us again tonight and all throughout this 2025 season. Monroe set to kick off. And that'll one hop in front of the nice returner for Munford as he'll be able to take it across to about the 26-yard line as that'll set up first down and 10 yards to go as it was Camden Truss that time on the kickoff return. And what type of message, especially with this circumstances, Eddie, that Munford is going through, do you imagine Michael Easley gave to his team at halftime?
Well, you just got to keep fighting, man. And then I'm sure he emphasized the importance of being, doing the right thing, when nobody's watching you. Because, if players are suspended, chances are they had some kind of disciplinary behavior problem. So, they don't realize how much it hurts their own team,
There's Curry on the carry off the right side. As he'll get about a couple of yards over to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Curry with a 76-yard touchdown tonight. But for Lincoln, a couple of touchdowns from Jalen Adair as well as a couple of touchdown tosses from Nick Catlett as he has a touchdown pass to Brayton Collins and Cade Correct. Looks like we've got a flag on the play. You had mentioned, Eddie, as far as just trying to corral the chippiness as that continues. The personal fouls.
Personal foul, defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Result is a first down.
That's something that Coach Brett Henderson wanted to correct going into halftime, and that just picks up where it left off coming out of the first half.
Absolutely. And I used to tell my teams, hey, I want y'all to play with control rage. I want you to be on the edge. Just don't step on the line.
The Chamber of Commerce of Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega first down via penalty for Munford. And there's Curry, the deep back. As Braden Nichols, the quarterback, and also the punter, a junior. His first start at the varsity level. And check that, looks like maybe Anderson, or check that Hill as he drops the snap and just has to fall on it. Braden Hill's had a tough night. He's been banged around literally so far this evening and just dropped the snap that time as he was able to fall on it back about the 40-yard line.
Right, that's just a direct snap. I mean, he dropped. I'm wondering if something happened to the quarterback.
So that's a loss of 5 on that fumbled snap. Two backs in the backfield as the give goes to Curry as he gets bottled up and taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Braylon Strickland that time on the tackle for loss as he gets a 2-yard loss that time on Javier Curry.
Just not a good read right there. He had two people up on him. He probably should have pulled that and kept it. That's a zone read he just ran.
So second down now and long yardage to go as they'll spot the football at the 38-yard line.
The Hill is just a sophomore, too, so, you expect those kind of mistakes,
I beg your pardon. Third down now for the Munford offense. As Braden Hill taking the snaps now as he'll try and round the right side, and he doesn't get very much at all. Good containment by the Lincoln D and more extracurricular activity as the tempers flaring up a little bit out on the field.
Well, that's a lack of discipline again right there. You can't pick a player up and slam him to the ground. I mean, it's not WWE, it's football.
Get a little wrestling ring out there.
Absolutely. He just, he had him wrapped up. All he had to do was take him to the ground, but, he picked him up and slammed him to the ground, man. That's just unsportsmanlike.
And looking at Brett Henderson all the way out at the numbers.
Personal foul against Golden Bears.
As we hear from Thomas Pratt.
Personal foul on the defense. The penalty's 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Somebody ought to be getting close to being ejected.
I know we heard about Coach Nick Gentry at Pell City getting ejected early on in the first half from Pell City's game at Coosa Christian earlier this evening.
Because you got several players out there that have personal fouls against them, unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, it's just it just makes the game ugly, man.
I think Cade Correct got one for spinning the football after he caught his touchdown. So that's a free Chamber of Commerce first down as that goes right up the gut to Javier Curry. As that'll get across the 45-yard line.
Hey, Coach, we better have Alonzo run down there and give that ref another book. I think he's going to need it.
Absolutely.
He might need a whole encyclopedia to take down all the notes that he needs as far as some of the extracurricular activity. We played almost 3 minutes of this third quarter. The Tractor Place with our third quarter coverage. Almost about time to hear more as far as some of our players from Shasta Jones, as we'll have an opportunity here hopefully in a little bit as we have a loose they say I think the ball did come loose as a fight for it, and looks as if that Munford was able to come out with it. There you see a couple of the players for Munford and Lincoln battling for the football.
Hey, James, I'll tell you a quick story. One of the best running backs I ever coached in Calhoun County history was Troymaine Pope.
It was indeed a fumble recovered by Munford.
And I told him a little story about a running back named Barry Sanders, how every time he scored, he would run to the fish and just toss the ball to the fish. He never spiked the football. And I told him to Google it and look it up, and he did it. He played for me for 2 years. He never got a personal foul for unsportsmanlike, and he scored over 41 touchdowns.
Braden Hill takes the snap. As before that, we've got a flag on the play. The pace grinding to a halt
before
here.
The snap.
Flag on the play.
False start. Offense. 5 yards. So it's down.
So second down and long to go. Well, it was a 1 yard loss after the fumble. As that'll move the football back toward midfield. Still on the Lincoln side of midfield. Right at one of the upper part of the paws in that Golden Bear logo. Right now it is bear down time for Lincoln, up 31-7. As they've taken the advantage ever since about midway through the first quarter, as here comes Hill with a lot of running room as he's wrestled out of bounds. That was close to a late hit that time, and I don't know if a flag came down on the field, Eddie. That was very close to having a personal foul penalty.
Well, he did. I mean, the kid was in the white right there, and he was making a slinging tackle, so you got to pull up. You can't. He's already 2 feet in the white. You can't sling him down, man.
There you see a great look, almost right at our camera angle where Alonzo Kirby is, looking a bird's eye view right down the sideline at the Lincoln coaching staff. Now, no matter what the score turns out, Eddie, I imagine Coach Henderson's going to be reminding his team about mental discipline when it comes to the next Monday practice.
Yeah, absolutely. They did it right in front of quick camera Kirby.
He certainly knows as far as making sure he doesn't get taken to the ground along the sideline.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the personal foul.
That's two So that's two personal fouls that go on Lincoln as that moves the football inside the 15, close to the 10. Hill on the keeper, runs into his own blocker, doesn't stop him though as he gets inside the 5-yard line, and he'll be taken down about the 3. So Braden Hill with some good minutes at quarterback here to begin the third quarter, as we've played already 5 minutes of this third quarter. I'll tell you, for both teams, probably not the worst thing as far as just the personal fouls that we've seen, that this clock continues to move.
Well, for Lincoln, that's what you wanted to do. For Montfort, you want to you want to punch it in there as quick as possible, or you want to get out of bounds and stop that clock to give yourself opportunity.
Here's the give. Curry tries to find some room behind his blocking, as he'll get his progress stopped about the 1-yard line. We've almost played half of this third quarter, as this is still the opening drive of the second half for Munford. Curry with 1 touchdown so far. He's well over 100 yards and looking to maybe add a second touchdown to his totals tonight.
And Montfort definitely want to score right here, because if they don't, it pretty much seals the game for them.
Now they can still get 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions to try and tie it up. But certainly that's a long shot to try and pull that off. 3rd and goal. Play clock under 5. Hill keeps it around the left side and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Munford. That's a great drive for Munford coming out of the halftime locker room to begin this third quarter.
Absolutely. Just outside zone, quarterback lead outside. They got a offensive lineman in the backfield, and everybody just man on man.
Braden Hill, his first touchdown of the night. As we'll have the point after coming up for the first time this evening from Sergio Organo. A player for Munford racing off the field. As there's the snap, hold, and the kick is up. And let's see if it made it through. And yes, it did. PAT good. 5:35 to go in the third quarter. It's now Lincoln 31 and Munford 14.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Quarter brought to you by our friends at the Tractor Place, and also our game of the week each and every week, thanks to our friends at FNN Bank. Service, strength, service, and solutions, not just a tagline. And there you see our friends at FNN Bank. Service, solutions, and strength, not simply just an ordinary tagline, but a way of doing business for our longtime friends from FNN Bank. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones, along with Jackson New and our FNN crew. 5:35 to go here in the third quarter. So we're going to have another Carter's Hardware kickoff coming up. This time this will be the third of those Carter's Hardware kickoffs from Munford. There you see Carter's Hardware's in business all since 1910. They've been around for every one of the Munford-Lincoln games. A long heritage of excellence serving the Munford community. Organo ready for what typically has been little pooch kicks, and no different really this time. As that'll be a loose ball, and it'll be surrounded and taken by Lincoln, thankfully for the Golden Bears. As that could have been disaster for Lincoln if they hadn't have come up with the football, as it appears the Golden Bears player is down across the way. See who the young man is that's lying face up on the field along the 30-yard line as Brett Henderson races across from the near sideline as he just grabs him right up, and he'll take him right off the field. I don't think I've ever seen that in a football game, Eddie, as far as the head coach coming all the way across the field and getting one of his players that appeared to be Keaton Fields that was down on the field.
Well, you have to know your players. I'm sure he know from practice he probably was faking over there. So he snatched him up. Hey, I went out there plenty of times, and once I saw who it was and what happened, I just tell him to get up.
Almost a little Oscar there as far as Mr. Fields.
Got to know your players, though. Now you got to know your players because you don't want to tell somebody that's truly injured, snatch them up or something like that. Don't you? Gonna have some problems.
A big part as far as that first-year learning process when it comes to Brett Henderson leading his own high school football program.
Right.
And it appears.
But that's just knowing your personnel, though.
Indeed. That appears a penalty on the kickoff. Nice. There's been a false start on the kickoff. This will have another Organo pooch kick. That's dropped in. Looks as if Munford might have been able to come up with it before it went out of bounds. And indeed, they'll signal Munford football. Just a lack of focus that time on the kickoff as one of the Golden Bears upmen just failed to reel it in. And let's see who was able to get that. It was number 14, it appears, for the Munford Lions, and Laveris Embry that was on the spot to keep that football in bounds. Give Embry a lot of credit that time. Awareness of where he was on the field and able to pounce on that football.
And that's why it was so important that Munford scored the previous series, because now look at what you have now. You got the football back with 5 minutes left, and Lincoln hasn't been on the field offensively the third quarter. So, I mean, you know.
And so they aided Munford's touchdown drive with a couple, actually 3 personal foul penalties.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
dead ball. Unsportsmanlike. On the home team, on the visiting team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Oh, man, another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That draws the flag from our AHSAA officiating crew led by Thomas Pratt. This one goes on Munford. No telling what's being said between these two teams down on the field. As we've already seen quite a bit of that post-play activity. And now the Lincoln defense has to come back out onto the field, as I imagine they're probably starting to wear down a little bit after they've been on the field, as you mentioned, Eddie, this entire third quarter.
Absolutely. I mean, they got to be tired, you know what I mean? You just got to knuckle down right here, make a play, you know, to give your offense a chance, you know. They have not given the offense a chance at all.
Braden Hill back in as basically a Wildcat quarterback. As he'll give off Curry, as he'll just bury his head, but loses a couple of yards. Good defensive stop that time by the Lincoln Golden Bears. It appears Savine Orr that time leads the way on the tackle.
Well, you got to get a couple of more like that, you know, because with Curry, one play don't stop it. He could break a play for 50 yards easily.
So that play loses back to the 42-yard line. So second down and long. We're about to go under 5 minutes here in the third quarter. The Tractor Place hauls us through our third quarter. Hill awaits the snap. And the play clock goes down to 0, so it appears the Lions got the play off too late.
Game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Braden Hill took too much time in the Munford offense to get that snap off, so they'll have to start this second down play from about the 36-yard line, their own. A rapidly paced third quarter despite some of the personal foul and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Here's Curry as he tries to round the corner and does so and gets a great gain on a second and long play close to midfield as he's just about 3 or 4 yards shy of the first down.
But that's a run I told you about. I mean, he could break it easily. So, I mean, just because he have a 4 or 5 yard loss does not mean they out of it by no stretch of the imagination.
I think it was a second and long that he scored on that 76-yard touchdown early in the first quarter.
It's just a matter of putting him in the right situation, you know.
So that gained 10 yards. Clock stops at 4:08 left in the third quarter. Third down. Munford trying to keep this drive alive and get a Chamber of Commerce first down. Here's the give. Curry, as he's contained, still trying to fight for yards, but wrapped up and taken down. Number 55 into the ball game, Kyle Johnson, the junior, with a good tackle as he had good pursuit.
It's a stretch play right there. They are trying to get him to the outside, but they have more success when they run the lead, when they pull somebody and let him pick his gaps and holes to run in.
A little cleanup on aisle 2. That was a second down run. This is now third down. You had that penalty factored in on a false start. Curry gets the call, tries to bounce it off the right side, and he's around the corner and off to the races. As he's pushed out of bounds, by Jakarian Turner, the free safety. And I don't see any flags on the play. We have to watch for flags the way that this game is going, and indeed, there's a flag on the play. So bring it on back on a hold on Munford.
Those are drive killers right there, man. God, you had a great run, and now you get a call back.
So here comes Thomas Pratt. We've gotten to know him very well so far tonight. Able to see him first thing getting here today.
Mr. Pratt is probably the most popular guy on the field right now.
He'll probably be the most popular guy to get off the field tonight, I imagine, especially for Lincoln.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the spot foul. Repeat fourth down.
That's too bad for at least the Munford Lions, as they had a big first down gain from Javier Curry, as he's had a big season opener tonight. Well over 100 yards with a touchdown. As we'll have, looks like a timeout on the field. And we're going to take the timeout with them. 3:18 to go, third quarter, with Lincoln up 31-14.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
$18 to go in the third quarter as the Tractor Place presents our third quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. James Hardy along with Coach Eddie Bullock as a holding penalty moves the football back to the Munford 42-yard line. So a third down and long. Or check that. Looks as if a punting situation.
I was like you. I actually thought it was third down on the third down run that he made, you know.
As Nichols punts it away, and a good one as it's fielded inside the 10-yard line. In fact, the scoreboard does have third down here at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium, but a good call at least to back up the Lincoln offense, as there's a Munford player down at about the 5-yard line off to our left. And looks as if one of the linebackers for the Lions. And Lavera's Embry, who's had a solid ball game tonight, able to get up, and he'll hobble his way back to the far sideline. So Lincoln will start their drive, the worst field position they've had all night, inside their own 10 at the 9.
That's the first possession for them as well.
That is indeed correct, Eddie. The first play of the second half as Adair. Some tough yards across the 10 to about the 11, maybe the 12-yard line. So a couple of defensive linemen, maybe a linebacker for the Lions, able to make the stop, as it appears that Adair may be down on the field.
I think he's cramping, man. Everybody's cramping.
Adair, he'll hobble back to the sideline as Catlett comes back off the sideline himself with the next play. See who Brett Henderson will bring in as far as the backup. Looks like Braylon Strickland will line up as the deep back. Second and long. As Strickland tries to bounce it off the left side, as he breaks out of a couple tackles and gets himself closer to the first down. They'll spot the football about the 18-yard line. We're getting close to that 2-minute mark to go in the third quarter. Lincoln up by 17 as they've led for almost the entire night. It was a brief tie in the first quarter at 7-7, but Munford has never led so far tonight. Third down and short. And before the snap, it appears we have a flag on the play. Or check that before that, a timeout called for by Lincoln. We'll take it with them with 1:47 to go in the third quarter, and Lincoln up by 17.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
A timeout by Lincoln with 1:47 to go in the third quarter. They're down to a couple of timeouts remaining, but they're trying to preserve their 3-score advantage, and they want to be able to stay on the field here. Third down and 1. Lincoln needs to get to the 19 for the first down, as Catlett banged around, but it appears that on the sneak he was able to get his first down. Brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce of Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega.
He took a shot that time. He earned that first down.
Well, Catlett, a good ball game so far. Hasn't had to throw very much, but when he has thrown, has a couple of touchdowns. One to Braden Collins in the late first quarter, and then the most recent mid-second quarter to Cade Correct. Collins and Correct, both upperclassmen, Correct a junior and Collins a senior. As the carry over to the 21-yard line. And that's still Braylon Strickland in the ball game. As we saw Jalen Adair have to come out of the ball game due to cramping. About a minute in game time. We're under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Lincoln trying to break a 15-game losing streak. As the last time they tasted victory was in early October of 2023 right here at home against Munford.
But right now they want to put together a 9-minute drive like Munford did earlier.
Strickland, not a lot of running room as he'll get to about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line, and that might be the final play that we see here in the third quarter. So Strickland advances to the football a couple to the 23-yard line as Munford kept the ball just about the entire third quarter. As Lincoln only had the football for about 3 minutes and change of this third quarter. They're still up 17, though. A long-running rivalry matchup between Lincoln and Munford goes to the fourth quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
It's game day. And from all of us at Bucks Island,
From the Loft Tackle Store. From the team in service.
From the team in parts.
From the sales team.
From the Bucks Island family, good luck and go get 'em, boys.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I'm-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
Fourth quarter coming up here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. A big thanks to the Tractor Place for presenting our third quarter as David's Wrecker Service brings to you our fourth quarter. Lincoln wants to be able to take David's Wrecker Service to the finish line tonight and take home what would be their first victory of the season and the first victory for head coach Brett Henderson as the Golden Bears head coach. A third and medium coming up as Catlett under pressure, trying to escape the pressure. Flushed out to his left as he'll just have to throw it away as he was almost able to get the completed pass, but out of bounds that time as the receiver closest to the play that time was Hudson Manns.
Well, that's what you want to do, throw it away. You don't want to take a big sack. I mean, you win. And
well, it looks as if we got another Munford player down back at the 10-yard line. No, that's a Lions player. Looks like trying to find one of the defensive linemen, I think.
They just cramping up, man, out of shape,
Check that number 99, the linebacker, Kelvin Castleberry, able to get up. Although it has to hobble, and a long way to hobble all the way across the field. Maybe a little more than a cramp that time. Hopefully it isn't more than a cramp. But Castleberry, thankfully, able to get to the sideline. So now one of the very few times we've seen Lincoln have to punt tonight is Wesley Huppert's to punt. And Munford will get good field position out of this. Decent punt as that'll be caught on the fair catch around midfield as B.J. Anderson on the fair catch. So now Munford, good field position, and still an outside, very much outside possibility right now, but not totally unrealistic that the Lions can fight their way back in this ball game.
Right, just very outside.
A 3-score deficit, but still 11:37 to go in regulation. Munford was able to go 78 yards on their opening drive in the third quarter. It took 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes of the third quarter clock. Here's the keeper off the left side, and good magician work that time by Braden Hill, the Wildcat quarterback, as he's performed pretty well so far in this third quarter, Eddie.
He's doing an excellent job. I mean, they being conservative with him and getting him out on the edges, and that's where he best at right there. And, I mean, Coach Easley always been pretty good, even when he was at Sachs as an assistant coach, making adjustments and utilizing the people that they got.
And also into the fourth quarter as far as the backup quarterback for tonight. Right up the middle goes Curry as he goes into the teeth of the Lincoln defense inside the 40 to about the 37, maybe the 36-yard line.
And notice everything is tight. They're getting foot to foot, tight formation. They're in the offset pistol formation. They got offset wing back, and they just run it straight at them. They got one wide out wide, and that's it.
Cade correct on the tackle for Lincoln. Football inside the 40. A heavy set as there's the give to Curry as he finds a little bit of running room off right guard and advances the football close to the 30-yard line. So you have a couple of linebackers, including Spencer Bibb, that lead the way for Lincoln on the tackle. A 7-yard gain on the part of Curry. Impressive night statistically for him. That 76-yard touchdown run certainly helped him get over 100 yards in the first quarter alone.
Right. I just think right here, Mumford need to kind of speed up the tempo. Conserve some clock when you're down 3 scores, or get out of bounds.
Yeah, there's Curry as he was pushed out of bounds. And a little surprised we didn't see a flag come out that time.
Yeah, it was close right there. He was in the white again. I'm assuming they probably said his momentum took him out that way. But, you have to be careful that once they step out of bounds, hey, you have to pull up, man.
That does stop the clock with 10:06 to go in the fourth quarter. Lincoln led 31-7 at halftime. Munford has scored the only points so far here in the second half, although the Lincoln offense has barely been on the field so far in this second half. There's the give. And they're wrapped up and taken down. And this is the backup running back in Laverace Embry.
Could easily had another personal foul over on the other side. You had a block on the safety over there, and he took the guy down and walked over him. You just gotta. That's just a lack of discipline. They're getting him out right now as I speak.
So fourth down rather. As the line to reach for the first down is the 28-yard line of Lincoln. Play clock down to 5, and it appears that Michael Leasley and Munford wants to use one of their timeouts, and they will. We'll take the timeout with them with 9:15 to go in the ball game. It's Lincoln 31 and Munford 14.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Keith Howard Memorial Stadium on the campus of Lincoln High School. We're in the fourth quarter, 9:15 to go in the ball game. Our fourth quarter brought to you by David's Wrecker Service. And I'm sure both of the teams, they're stocked up as far as the 99-cent bags of ice, as well as some other goodies from the Grub Mart. Longtime friends of ours here on FNN. Fourth down coming up. Play fake. And the throw behind the D is incomplete. Intended for Castleberry as he had gotten behind the defense.
He had him wide open, man. Just you could tell Brady just probably, not used to playing quarterback right there. Great call, man. And had he caught it, he would have walked in the end zone.
And that would have been drawn Munford to within 10 points as we take a live look, and these are 4 different camera angles here in the fourth quarter. As Lincoln ready to take over the football, just their second offensive possession of the second half.
Right, they dodged a bullet right there.
Indeed. Munford could have gotten their second touchdown of this second half as coming to the near side. It's Adair back in the ball game as he gets a big run off the near side as he advances to the Munford 45-yard line for a Chamber of Commerce first down. A solid night for Adair. It's a solid offensive showing, especially in the first half for the Golden Bears offense of Lincoln. A couple of touchdowns through the air for Nick Catlett. Still a lot to work on for both teams after tonight. Under 9 minutes to go as here's a flag on the play.
Oh, you got a false start. You got the receiver out on the right side was moving.
Be 1st and 15.
Never got set.
Start.
5 yards.
Offense. So first down.
Thomas Pratt reminds us of that false start. They'll move the football back to just across midfield. Don't forget the Bucks Island scoreboard show following our game. As we go under 9 minutes to go in the football game. Lincoln has led almost the entire night, except for a brief tie early in the first quarter. Here's the counter give. Adair follows his blocking and gets rewarded a big run, an explosive run across the 25. And there you take a look, a close-in look at Jalen Adair. A run of 27 yards to the 23-yard line of Munford.
And a smart decision to cut it back in to keep the clock running.
So that does indeed keep the clock on the move, as Eddie mentions. Allows Lincoln to chew up more of that clock as they now break the huddle. High formation. And again, that counter give, Adair follows the lead of his blockers, stays in bounds as he gets inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. So what are the lessons as far as Coach Brett Henderson, Eddie, that he's going to learn as far as the further he gets into the season just leading his own program, especially coming as an assistant from one of the most successful programs in Class 4A?
He's going to have to get control of all those penalty discipline because against more formidable opponents, they'll get beat all those penalties. You can't have 10 or 15 penalties and win.
Fade pattern to the end zone, caught for the touchdown as Braden Collins on the touchdown reception. We'll take another look at that back shoulder fade as Catlett to Collins. Collins, his second touchdown of the night. I'll tell you what, in addition to the speed, look at that body maneuvering that time from Collins as he's able to box out his defender and get the touchdown.
Great throw, great catch, man. Just great placement. I mean, he went up and got it.
Monroe for the PAT. A little early head start prior to the kick. So offside. They'll just basically do the kick again. Makes it 37-14. What will look like a rock-solid evening on the scoreboard for Lincoln once we get to the conclusion of the night. It'll be the first time that the Golden Bears have tasted victory since 2023. High snap, but good hold as the kick is up, and that is good. Well executed on the PAT. As the score now 38-14 in favor of Lincoln here in the fourth quarter.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
The Golden Bears of Lincoln on top, 38-14 against rival Munford. The Lions undermanned tonight. Also, injury bug has hit them a few times throughout the evening. as Monroe set for the Carter's Hardware kickoff. Not quite midway through this fourth quarter, as Monroe will kick it toward the near side. Still squirting around out there. A loose ball as Munford will have to start their drive inside their own 5-yard line as they kind of just dilly-dallied around with that kickoff, and they paid for it.
Yeah, that could have easily been a safety, or it could have easily been a touchdown right there.
Luckily for Lavera's Embry, he was able to somehow get the football with a Lincoln special teams player all over him. So they'll spot that football inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. A big thanks to the Calhoun County Commission as they help sponsor our halftime, but also our FNN Game of the Week all throughout the Fridays in the fall. Here you see Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Lee Patterson, Carolyn Henderson, and J.D. Hess, those 5 on the Calhoun County Commission. We'll be going to Calhoun County next Friday. Up to Jacksonville as good fake that time by Brayton Hill as he's able to do a little magic with the ball and get across the 10 to about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, he was one guy away from taking it to the house.
Now, I imagine as far as this Lincoln program when it comes to progressing under Brett Henderson, Coach Henderson also talked about on Tuesday with us over at Top of the River, which, by the way, we'll be back there on Tuesday for our next FNN Coaches Show. But he mentioned as far as just one of those things he wanted to take from Cherokee County was just the prolific strength and conditioning program that Jacob Kelly had implemented years ago when he took over up in center as Curry loses yards on that carry. Good pursuit by the Golden Bears defense. Of course, the offensive and defensive line, we know where Jacob Kelly's program, as far as their success begins. Some outstanding offensive and defensive lines that have carried the Warriors to 3 consecutive Super 7 appearances in Class 4A. Lincoln, another season in Class 5A. Of course, another reclassification period coming up following the season. Braden Hill corralled that time around the line of scrimmage at the 10-yard line. Under 6 minutes to go in the football game.
Well, I think you got a flag down there.
There's indeed a flag on the play. We'll hear from Thomas Pratt momentarily. A face mask goes on the Golden Bears.
Hang on.
A 5-yard face mask, it appears. So they're going to move that.
Incidental face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Result is a first down.
So a 5-yard penalty. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, as far as if you haven't downloaded yet the FNN app, just go to FNN Network when it comes to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. And you can find schedules for all the schools around the area, but also the first thing when you find on our FNN app is our Games of the Week airing live right now and also on demand. And there you go. Easy access to all our live streams, including on-demand video from upcoming events. And our next FNN presentation will come Tuesday over at Top of the River on the north side of Anniston, where we'll recap this first week, as we'll also take a look right on cue as far as our FNN Channel 1 schedule for this week. We'll have a replay of both of our games this week next Friday, leading in to our Game of the Week featuring Moody and Jacksonville. 6:30 for that countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Bama Sheds. Also, Talladega Short Track presenting our Player of the Week, as we'll have another little bit of Player of the Week hardware to hand out on Tuesday. There's Curry around the left side as he'll go out of bounds across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. it appears, Eddie, Lincoln making some good progress as far as under the early part of the first year for Coach Brett Henderson, former defensive coordinator at Cherokee County, the 2024 ALFCA 4A Assistant Coach of the Year, a well-deserved opportunity to lead a program of his own. Also played at Alexandria under coaches Ginn and Tucker. And, of course, as part of that Cherokee County coaching staff, a part of those 3 state championship game appearances for the Warriors. Not much doing that time for Javier Curry as the clock goes under 5.5 minutes to go. I imagine the home folks here at Lincoln will be very happy with their Golden Bears getting in the win column. The Bucks Island Scoreboard Show coming up next with scores from around the state of Alabama, coaches' interviews, region standings, and more.
And speaking of scores, how about Jim giving us a little update?
I mentioned we'll get that here in just a moment after Curry tries to round the left side and does so with a Chamber of Commerce first down. Chamber of Commerce from Lincoln, Munford, and Talladega. Happy to have them back with us as they present our first downs tonight. Also should be getting close to some finals from around our area. Region play starts next week for the vast majority of teams. Almost every one of the teams across the state of Alabama starts next week. Actually, there are a handful of teams starting region play this week. A flag on the play, it appears. As they'll mark the football, looks like a
personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty result.
A personal foul, face mask goes on Lincoln, so the football advances all the way up to the Munford 44-yard line. Class 3A Region 6 begins their region play tonight, or at least began their play tonight, as Embry across midfield. You got to give credit, Eddie, to Munford's effort and their character as far as they were down 31-7, shorthanded, but they have not given up so far in this second half.
Right, they've played extremely hard, for limited numbers and circumstances they had to play on. You got to pat them on the back for that. Just got to get those other guys, get their heads together and let them know that, if you're going to be a part of the team, you can't do anything to hurt them. Mumford played hard.
Not that we're not doing enough down here. Pleasant Valley, 34-0 over Spring Garden, Eddie. That's a shocker.
Oh, wow.
Piedmont, 43-0 over Sachs. No shocker there, I don't think. Moody, 24-0 over Oxford. I don't think that's quite over yet, but Moody putting it on the Yellow Jackets tonight.
That's a shocker. I knew Moody's good.
Yeah, that is a bit of a surprise as far as Oxford not able to have a little better showing so far this evening. And then tell you, Pleasant Valley's been taking some positive steps under Jonathan Nix the last 3 seasons or so as they've made the playoffs the last couple of years and then able to have a first-round home game last season.
Boy, did a great job. I'm proud of them, man.
And then to me, for Pleasant Valley, tonight was really kind of a measuring stick game. The season, if this is a springboard for them, this could be another really big season for Pleasant Valley this year.
After the play, personal foul on the offense. 15 yards from the end of the run, third down.
Oh, man, I imagine with the number of personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conducts, both coaches will just be ready to get this final 3:54 and counting in the books.
I will venture to say Mr. Pratt has a roster in his book.
Yeah, this might be a game that Thomas Pratt does not forget anytime soon.
Yes, I think he has every number on each team now.
Curry off the right side across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And here we go, another flag on the play. Eddie, do you ever remember coaching a game with this many penalties?
Absolutely not.
On the offense, that penalty's declined. 4th down.
If I had that many penalties, I would start telling my guys to do like I make them do in basketball practice. They have to put their hands behind their back and block.
I want to know if our clock operator up here has seen this many flags in a game before when working a game. Probably not.
I've never seen this many penalties.
Well, at least for Munford, it'll be a short trip home. Really just on the other side of the northern part of Talladega County.
Even in Pee Wee football.
Oh, man. A lot of times you'll have those personal foul penalties in a fierce, hard-fought, bitter rivalry, but this is definitely taking it to another level as far as the quantity of penalties. That's a good punt by Nichols that initially took that Munford roll and comes to a stop at the 20-yard line. We'll hear.
All right, from the trailer scoreboard, Coach, 27-14, Coosa Christian on top of Pell City.
That is a great result for Coosa Christian. A big step forward as far as just, at least this speaking of circumstances that Coosa Christian has been going through for over a year now. Definitely a shot in the arm as far as the morale for their football program. Against a Pell City squad that they only lost by a 17-7 margin last year early in the season down at Pell City.
Well, and you can understand with Pell City's coach getting ejected. You can understand how tempers may flare in that game with Coach Probst coming from Pell City, previously. So, it's got to be some kind of feelings there.
Indeed. Another hard-fought, almost kind of bitter rivalry contest between Pell City and Coosa Christian as there's a delay of game on Lincoln. I imagine also Coach Henderson probably not too thrilled with how sloppy the game overall, but especially this second half has been for his Golden Bears.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's just that's inexcusable. I mean, it's just too many penalties.
And they'll remain at home and take on Center Point next week. A Wildcat snap as Coach Henderson looking just keep it on the ground and try and take this to the finish line on the ground as we go under 3 minutes to go in the football game with Lincoln up by 24. So second down coming up. But when you look at a program, Eddie, however, on the flip side of that hasn't won a game, remember, in almost 2 calendar years since October of 2023, even especially against your longtime rival, that's a positive step as far as getting that rebuilding process started.
Absolutely. But the key words is like Coach Henderson said, act like you've been here, You got to know how to, you got to know how to have your composure, while you're winning as well as when you're losing. But, those penalties cost you.
Let's send it down to Shasta Jones on the sideline as we'll take a look at some of the Lincoln Stars as far as an in-depth look on them.
This week I caught up with Braylon Strickland, the running back, senior. Last year was Braylon's first time as a starter in this rivalry game. He said we've been on the drop since about 2021, and one of the biggest goals this season is he just wants to go to the playoffs, have a successful season, and if anything, the bare minimum is having a winning season.
Here's out into the secondary. And off to the races goes the Lincoln Bears as Smith able to take the carry. Z. Smith will call him as he's able to take Smith able to take that deep into Munford territory. As a Chamber of Commerce first down by Talladega, Lincoln, and Munford. As the Golden Bears have it now, first down and 10 at the Munford 10-yard line, trying to put the icing on the cake. 92 seconds to go, and let's see if the Golden Bears want to have one more score. Nice to wrap up their first victory of the season. Looks like also a new quarterback into the ball game. As Coach Brett Henderson going into his bench. That is Z Smith. That'll be on the carry, trying to follow his blockers. And he'll be wrapped up in the backfield and taken down for a loss. King Kraft Heifer on the tackle as we go under 40 seconds, and that might have been the final play that we'll see tonight. Big thanks to all of our sponsors. David's Wrecker Service brings us our fourth quarter. And the coach's favorite formation.
Yeah, I think he's just going to take a knee. He's sent his starter back in.
The victory formation is one more snap as Lincoln will break a 15-game losing streak as they take down the Munford Lions by a score of 38-14 as Brett Henderson gets his first win in his head coaching career. So Lincoln improves to 1-1 on the season, and Munford starts the season 0-1. We'll take the timeout and begin our postgame on the other side of this timeout.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Almost a wire-to-wire win for Lincoln tonight against an undermanned Munford Lions squad as Lincoln takes the victory 38-14 as we'll send it down to the field for our Shasta Jones with victorious Lincoln head coach Brett Henderson.
Coach Henderson, how does this win feel?
Man, it feels amazing, to finally get the W in the win column. I've told them time and time again, if you just keep applying yourself, you will see the fruits of your labor. It wasn't the cleanest game, but, in halftime, I told them, I said, guys, just lock in. Act like you've been here before. And, I'm just super proud of our kids, and especially in this kind of rivalry. Great atmosphere. Super excited for it to be the first one.
What do you want to see your team work on over the next week besides their Gatorade throws on you?
Yeah, right. Well, first off, I didn't want that. But, what we got to focus on is not being chippy. Like, we can play fiery, but, at the end of the day, we had way too many penalties. And I'm not going to settle for that. That's not who we are. That's not what we're going to be. Fixed this week at practice.
Losses.
Well, you got a victory.
Let's send it back down to the field for Shasta Jones.
Braden, goodness, you told me this week you wanted to break some records, score big. Tell me about tonight and that catch you had in double coverage over there.
Which one, the first or second one?
Oh, you can tell me about both.
The first one. Okay, the first one, I told Coach before, I was like, trust me, Coach, I'm finna make this play. And he trusted me. And I went through and got it. That second one now, I was already cramping. He was like, we're going to give it to you. I was like, okay. I jumped up, started cramping, came down with it, and I just ran off. Ooh, I'm just glad Coach trusts me. That's all I'm glad about.
What else do you want to accomplish the rest of this season?
Playoffs for sure.
And how many more yards you need?
Probably about 800 now. Oh, yeah, and Braylon, you remember at the thing? I scored first. I had to put that on there. I scored first.
For our viewers out there was a competition between him and Braylon. Is I saying right? Mm-hmm. And Braylon scored first the last game, but this game, I guess you kind of took it, right?
Yep, I took it from him. Still love you, Bray.
All right, well, we're going to thank you again, and good luck the rest of your season.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
We're going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Shasta. And a little swagger hearing from Braden Collins there, but certainly enjoying the fruits of their labor as far as their 38-14 win for Lincoln over Munford. Your final thoughts tonight, Eddie?
Well, great win for Lincoln. Sloppy, but, hey, at the end of the day, you got a victory.
Lincoln improves to 1-1 on the season as they'll open region play in Class 5A against Center Point next Friday night at home, while Munford will remain on the road in Class 4A Region 3 as they'll go down to Tallahassee to open region play next week. So that'll put a bow on it for our 2 games this week as part of our rivalry week coverage. Region play starts next week as we'll have the trip to Jacksonville for Moody as he'll take on the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. And there you see all our fine folks. A job well done tonight. So for Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones, Jackson New, along with Jim Jacobs and the rest of our FNN crew, James Hardy wishing you a great Friday night and a good college football weekend coming up as you have been watching the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.